Welcome to the Ostrava Metski Stadium in the Czech Republic for the climax of what's already been a long, thrilling season. Some of the finest in the world are gathered here, competing as individuals, yes, but also representing one of Europe, the Americas, Asia Pacific and Africa for this, the magnificent 2018 IAAF Continental Cup. It will be presented to the winning continent at the end of a superb weekend in a stadium which once witnessed a 10,000 metre world record by the legendary Czech Olympic champion Emil Zatopek. We're sold out over the next couple of days, and we have the dignitaries assembled for the official beginning of the afternoon. The Minister for Education and Sport, Robert Plaja, together with the regional governor and the mayor of Ostrava.
Za zahájení.
Thank you, Minister. We are now officially ready to get this athletics party started. And what a party we have ready for you in this totally new, unique athletics format. My name is Ewan Thomas. I'm your infield host for the next few days. And Ostrava, you are in for a treat. We have for you gathered together 500 of the greatest athletes in the world, representing 4 teams over 4 continents. We have Team Americas, we have Team Africa, Asia Pacific, and also Team Europe. And you are very lucky. Not only are you going to see the best in the world on the track and in the field, but we've got 4 legendary captains from this sport. Yes, let's meet them right now. First up from Team Africa, she's an Olympic bronze medalist, a 2 times world champion, the one and only Neza Badoon. And next up, we have Captain America, a 2-time Olympic silver medalist, a 2 times world champion. Quite frankly, the greatest jumper the planet has ever seen. No one's jumped further than this man, the one and only Mike Powell. Next up, we have the Queen from Down Under, all the way from Australia. A 2 times world champion, of 4 times, yes, I said that correctly, 4 times Commonwealth champion, the one, the only, Jana Pittman. And last but certainly not least, this man has more medals than I've had hot dinners. He is an Olympic silver medalist, the 2 times world champion, the former world record holder, the godfather of British athletics. He's a legend, Colin Jackson. Okay, so 4 fantastic teams, 4 amazing team captains, 1 simple question. Who is going to win? Let's start with Team Africa. Can you win?
Yes.
There you have it. A simple answer.
Are you here, Africa? Yes!
Yes, they are here. I'm sure Jana has something to say about this. Team Asia Pacific, you've got to win.
I do. You want to look at this amazing crowd behind us, all Team Asia Pacific right around. So yes, we're going to win it too.
Well, Colin has been talking a lot over the last couple of days. Surely you're the man to lift the trophy.
Well, we are the defending champions. Europe supporters are all the way over there and also all around me. So I'm looking forward for us raising that trophy once again.
Now, I know Mike Powell will want to say something about this. Very quickly, Mike, surely Americans will win.
Well, we have a really, really strong team, and as long as we beat Colin.
Okay, you heard it there. There's going to be a lot of fighting talk. We talked about the format earlier. Have a look at the big screen. This is how it works.
Well, that's the irrepressible Ewan Thomas. My name's Rob Walker, and I'm joined by Olympic bronze medalist Catherine Merry to help us make sense of the rules and regulations for this Continental Cup. Good afternoon, Catherine.
Good afternoon, Rob. Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, 4 team captains have been introduced, 2 athletes per event for each team. The points given for the final team positions when they're added together is 8, 6, 4 and 2. Both teams have 2 teams jokers, 1 men and 1 woman each day. If their points add up and combined, then they will get double points for their continent. In the throws and the horizontal jumps, 3 attempts per athlete. All 8 get 3. Then the best of each continent qualifies for a 4th jump, and then just the top 2 continents qualify for a 5th attempt. A jump off, Rob. Some different rules and regulations here at the Continental Cup, but much excitement as we just saw from the team captains.
Yes, we've been getting our heads around this competition, and in the 3,000 metres and the 3,000 steeplechase, at 4 laps to go, we begin an elimination process. It's 1 per lap, which means at the bell, we go from 5 down to 4, and we will finish the weekend with the mixed relay. The running order, as you can see there, is totally up to the individual team, so we'll wait and see how they play their cards in terms of where the 2 men go in that particular lineup. But it's a little different to our traditional athletics meetings. We're really looking forward to it, and if you're a bit confused, don't worry, just focus on the winner and we'll pick up all the points for you afterwards.
So it's so important who you pick as your joker. It could be the difference between winning and losing so quickly. Neza, I'll ask you, who's your first joker today? Oh, a problem with her mic. I'll go to Jana. Jana, have you picked wisely? Who's your first joker today?
It was a tough decision, but I'm going with women's discus.
Oh, that's a tough competition. Colin, I know you're a tactician. You must have thought a lot about this. You've got to beat the Americans. Who have you chosen?
Well, I'm looking for my maximum points early. The women's hammer, right now.
Oh, that's probably a tough decision to beat that. Is it, Mike? Are you confident? Come on, Americas, you've got some great gene pool there. A lot of athletes.
A very strategic position, men's discus. Watch out.
I like the way, Mike, you say that with a deep voice, and you just sound you've got a lot of authority. Are you trying to scare Colin over there? I think that laugh might have scared half the children here. Right, hopefully your microphone's working now. Who are Team Africa going for?
Steeplechase, men.
Oh, now the steeplechase is a very important race today. That is going to be brilliant. Listen, we're going to listen and hear from these guys all afternoon. For now, though, have a look at the timetable.
Yes, thanks very much to you and Thomas. This is how our afternoon pans out. It is going to be almost literally non-stop. 19 finals today. Women's 400 should be fascinating. Men's 200, the reigning world and European champion Guliev going in that one. And we are on air all the way through the afternoon. Men's 400 metre hurdles. I wonder whether we'll see yet another spectacular performance from Samba, who's just been outrageous. Career in the men's 800 metres up against Nigel Amos, and we'll finish off with the men's 4x100 metre relay just before 6 o'clock our time. So, Catherine, we've got around about 3.5 hours of what we're expecting to be non-stop action, both track and field.
It will be. Seb Coe said yesterday, you know, we've got to try some new innovations. We'll live and learn and see how we get on. There's confirmation of the Continental colours throughout the weekend: yellow, red, violet and blue. And I think we're going to have a lot of banter, as we call it, at that 200-metre start, particularly between Mike Powell and Colin Jackson over the next 48 hours. And as Colin mentioned, very shortly, he's playing his joker for Europe in the women's hammer throw competition. And here is your lineup then: 8 athletes, 2 per continent. Europe very strong indeed, with Anita Vladarczyk, the defending IAAF Continental Cup champion, 4-time world record breaker, the Polish athlete, starts for Europe in this competition. Asia Pacific, Naluo and Alexandra Hully, they're the 2 representations for them, the violet of Asia Pacific. Remember the finishing positions: 8 for a win, 1 for an 8th place finish. The 2 athletes' scores are added together. That is then when the points for the continents are handed out at 8, 6, 4 and 2. Well, maybe tactics being discussed here by the European team. This is strong. Alexandra Tavernier and Anita Vladarczyk. It's kind of an obvious choice on this first day for team captain Colin Jackson, the 33-year-old. 4-time European champion, 3-time world champion, twice Olympic champion. Vladarczyk a strong favourite, but Tavernier second at the European Championship recently, breaking the French record, over 74 metres for the French start. Now, Team Americas, they've had a bit going on this year in the women's hammer. Jennifer Dahlgren, Deanna Price, Deanna Price over 78 metres this season, the new US record holder on the right.
And just to clarify, Catherine, as we go through and see the two Africans, Ogun Rinde and Zakur, PB in the African Championships, taking the gold medal. She's on the right. Just to clarify, in nearly all of our events, the winning continent, i.e. the winning team, will receive 8 points, but Europe have elected this to be their joker, so if they win this team competition, 8 points doubles to 16. That's the importance of the joker card. Confused? Don't worry, you won't be by the end of the day.
What all these athletes will be focusing on is throwing their 4K hammer. Been in this Continental Cup now from 2002, so it's only the 4th edition. There you see on the screen confirmation, Team Europe playing their joker, and as Rob Walker told you, if their combined finishing position points are more than anybody else's, they'll get double points in the standings. All athletes get 3 throws. And then the leading athlete from each of the 4 continents goes on for a 4th throw. So Luo of China, Asia Pacific, the reigning Asian and Asian Games champion. The first action of an exciting weekend here at the Metski Stadium. She's 75 metres and 2 this season, the 24-year-old. Didn't qualify for the London World Championships final last year. The crowd were flowing in when myself and Rob came into our commentary seats by the finish line here. A sellout, as Rob mentions, for 2 days here. 15,000 a day are expected. Not a bad opener for the Chinese athlete, over 65 metres. 66 metres and 2 centimetres. You see the 3 blocks for the 3 opening throws, and then the previous throws, incidentally, when they get to the 4th round, are scrapped. They start again.
Alexandra Tavernier, bronze medal in the World Championships in Beijing back in 2015. 6th best thrower in the world this year, just behind our Luo, who we've just seen throw 66 plus change. That's quality from the French woman. Season's best, 74-78. Just to further clarify, all competitors will have the 3 throws. As Catherine mentioned, the best representative from each continent will have 1 further throw, which this weekend we're sort of nominating as a semi-final. And then the very best, the top 2 throwers, will have 1 last remaining throw, and the best athlete in that 5th round, i.e. the final, will be the champion. 69-23, that's a really good opener by the French woman.
Well, and that's what Team Europe would have wanted. A good start by the French Woman Athlete of the Year back in 2015 when she won that world bronze medal. You can see from our shots here, thick and fast action, men's high jump, glorious colours of all the continents being displayed.
Good lineup here for the high jump. The Americas, Donald Thomas, he's been around for a long time. Won that world title in those baseball shoes or basketball shoes back in Osaka in 2007, just off the podium in the Commonwealth Games earlier this year. 3rd in Oslo and won the Central American and Caribbean champs. And Brian McBride, US champion last year, 2:35 this year. Very good team. Not every seat is taken, but believe me, we're reliably informed it's a sellout. Chris Molea, 2 times the national champion for South Africa, and Matthew Sawe, twice the African champion, national record holder with 2:30, 7th in the Commonwealth Games. Where the Asia Pacific duo have decided to go for their joker. Majid Ghazal of Syria, bronze medalist last year in the World Champs, and Brandon Stark, what a year. I was there on the Gold Coast when he won the high jump, and he won the Diamond League and has equalled the Oceanian record this year twice, 2:36. That has stood since 1997. So Stark and Ghazal will be hoping that they can live up to their wild card joker billing for Asia Pacific. Bit of a height difference between Neda Sekou and Ivan Yuk, the 2 Europeans. Ivan Yuk 4th in the World Juniors. just a few years ago. And Didisco, European Junior Champion last year. No Barshim, but hopefully he's on the road to recovery, thinking about Doha next year.
So it's going to get very busy on that first bend. Well, in fact, the whole weekend is going to be thick and fast, which is super. See the high jump bar being set at the opening height. Track action, well, 2:40 local time in about 6 minutes is the first action on the track, the women's 100-meter hurdles. And all the T-shirts, there you see the violet, they say it is, of Asia Pacific, looking to support their team. But Europe, well, one of the big guns, Anita Vladarchik, opening her account in this women's hammer throw. Her teammate, Travernier, leading the way, 69 meters and 23. Well, there's a huge roar as she releases the implement. You see the lines marked on the infield here at the Metski Stadium. So much wonderful track and field action. It was opened in 1938, redone in 2010. It took 5 years to turn it into the lovely compact stadium it is here in Ostrava. And Vladarchik, well, approaching that championship record mark. I can tell you that's a huge 75 meters and 29 from 2006. 69 meters and 72. Vladarchik goes into the lead, and more importantly, a very strong start from the European side.
Yes, which bodes well, having played their joker in this event. Deanne Price, 8th in Rio 2 years ago, made the top 10 last year in London, 78.12. She's the second best thrower in the world this year by some margin. And that looks a superb opener for the Americas by the American. Face a picture of concentration. A really good response to Vladarchik's 69.72. She is likely to have taken the lead there. Just watching and waiting for that distance to come up.
And what a competition we're going to have. Price, she's in a good frame of mind this season. She's getting married next month. She's had a wonderful 2018. Oh, it's through, Rob, 72 meters and 64. The first athlete over the 70-meter barrier. And that means the Americas now going to the lead in the women's hammer.
Remember, as the afternoon progresses, keep your eye on the second of each continent's performers. Just because they have a leader doesn't necessarily mean that they're always going to come out on top, because if their second athlete finishes in last place and another continent has second and third, they would win the event. We'll keep you posted as the drama unfolds, and Catherine seriously looking forward to the first of our track finals this weekend.
The women's 100-meter hurdles. Here is your lineup, a stellar lineup. Commonwealth champion, European champion, world record holder. All but two of the athletes in this race have been inside 13 seconds this season. And lane number 3, the Americas, strong presence from Kendra Harrison, the world record holder. She'll start in lane number 3. All the athletes having a jazzy entrance into the stadium here this afternoon. It's an interesting event. The results over the years at the Continental Cup, and obviously previously as it was known as the World Cup, have been distributed across all the continents in the past. Asia Pacific, Jenike and Kimura coming out together. Michelle Jenike, she'll start in lane number 1. There it is. There's her trademark bouncy dance. 12.99 seconds this season, Jenike. Kimura's a 13.13 second runner. She'll start in the middle in lane number 5. Strong presence from Europe. Djukovic and Herman. Djukovic, world bronze in London last year, European silver in Berlin. And there's a little smile as well from Elvira Herman of Belarus, the surprise European champion this year in Berlin. She'll start in lane number 6. But you're talking about power and strength. America's Kenny Harrison and Danielle Williams. 25-year-old Kenny Harrison, the US champion, the world record holder. 12.20 seconds. And Danielle Williams, second at the Commonwealth Games, behind the athlete that will start in lane 4, who I'll introduce shortly. But that is a good presence here in Ostrava from the Americas. And then finally, the pairing of Africa, Amusam and Koala. Commonwealth champion Toby Amusam will start in lane number 4, still just 21 years old, 12.68 seconds this year for the athlete on the left. Keen to get in, keen to get to the start line. And Koala, Martha Yasmin Koala, runs for Burkina Faso. She'll start in lane number 8. So the women's 100-meter hurdles. Jenneke, Djukovic, Harrison, Amusam, Kimura, Herman, Williams and Koala. 8 points to the winner. Jenneke still bouncing in lane number 1. Keep your eye on Harrison in lane number 3. The US champion, second in the Brussels Diamond League recently. Big names over the years, as I mentioned, have won this event. Foster, Devers, Pearson. The meeting record, 12.47 seconds, set by Dawn Harper-Nelson in 2014, the only championship record that was set in Marrakesh 4 years ago. Recently retired, Dawn Harper-Nelson this season. Is that under threat here today now the rain has stopped? First track action then of the Continental Cup, and we start with the world record holder in lane number 3, Harrison of the United States. Can Americas get the start they want on the track? Just as Europe are getting so far in the field in the women's hammer. Jenneke, Djukovic, Harrison, Amusam, Kimura, Herman, Williams and Koala. So a clean start in the first track action. Harrison going well in lane number 3 in the colours of the Americas. It's the world record holder going well. A teammate Williams is going well at the moment as well. It's going to be a 1-2 for the Americas. And in lane number 7, Danielle Williams, the Jamaican, 12.50 seconds. That is a very good run into a minus 0.1 metre a second win. Just 2 100ths, Rob, potentially shy of her lifetime best. Well, it was a strong squad the Americas sent, and the world champion in Beijing in 2015 ran a good race there. We'll see on the replay Harrison, the fast start, the predicted fast start from the world record holder, but good running by Williams in 7.
Those two were a class apart, Catherine, and they delivered. Third from the right-hand side, Kendra Harrison, the world indoor champion. Well, you don't win over 60 unless you've got a lightning quick start. She was away and clear, but Danielle Williams, as a former world champion in 2015, takes it with that lovely dip on the line. The two girls from the Americas way, way clear. Dudkiewicz, the European silver medalist this year, she looked as though she came home in 3rd for the Europeans, but the two Americans a class apart.
Well, a perfect start for them in this Continental Cup. Good strength for the Americas, a 1-2 for the Americas, but a 3-4 in terms of Djukovic and Herman for Europe. 12.49 confirmed for Danielle Williams, the Jamaican. And Kenny Harrison second in 12.52 seconds. Good points for the Americas, but good points behind for Europe as well in 3rd and 4th position. So to confirm, 8 points then for Williams, 7 for Harrison, 6 for Djukovic, 5 for Herman, all the way down to 8th place. Then you add up the 2 points of both of the athletes representing the continent, and the one with the most will get the 8 team points. They're the important points this weekend, 8, 6, 4 and 2. Well, 2 world record holders on display already here at the Continental Cup. Anita Vladarchik in the field, Kenny Harrison on the track. We've said some of the lineups this weekend, considering we're in the first week of September, are absolutely superb.
They really are, and it's been a brilliant Diamond League season, actually. A few people were thinking, are we going to miss a certain Jamaican Usain Bolt? I think the standards in so many events so far this year have been superb. There's the official confirmation.
And there's your graphic. You'll get used to seeing this graphic. Your winners, Danielle Williams, the Americas, 12.49, 8 points. 8 plus 7 is 15. So Americas cannot be beaten because 6 plus 5 for Europe is 11. So it will be the Americas that pick up 8 points in the women's 100-meter hurdles.
Yes, those are the points individually that the athletes have secured. but it's who wins the overall team event. Oh, we like this graphic. We haven't seen this one before. Fantastic. After the first of 37 events, 19 finals today, by the way. We've got some brilliant racing still to come. We've got some 3,000 metre flat and steeple where we've got athletes being eliminated from 4 laps out. This is how the teams performed in that first track race. So the combined scores, that's America won the team event. They had first and second individually. They won the team event. So for winning the team event, 8 points. And remember, anybody who plays a joker, that would double up to 16. Each of our team captains are allowed to play 2 jokers a day, 1 in the men's events, 1 in the women's.
And here is one of those jokers for Europe, Anita Vladarczyk, 69 metres and 72. She's in second place at the moment behind Deanna Price. Oh, she's warming up. She doesn't look particularly happy. Remember, the leading athlete from each of the continents after the first 3 rounds go on for a 4th round throw. Vladarczyk chasing Deanna Price's lead of 72 metres and 64. It's going to be close, if not just shy, for the Team Europe athlete. Well, it's coming through, 71 metres and 95. She stays in second behind America's Deanna Price, but she is the leading European at the moment, which would get her into the 4th round.
Yes, a very different kind of competition. Deanna Price, so good in that first round, 72-64. Still leading. Vladarczyk not able to get over 72 metres with her second effort. Let's see if the big American, well, she hit the netting. So no improvement there, but it's still a fine effort from the first round. And as Catherine was saying, the top 4 from each continent will have a 4th throw, i.e. the semi-finals, and the top 2, 1 throw effort for the individual win and maximum individual points going towards the team total.
So a no throw for Price, but her America's teammate Dahlgren is currently down in about 6th place, 65 metres. So I think she'll comfortably get into that 4th round throw-off situation.
Well, interesting to see Donald Thomas, the Bahamian representing the Americas, coming in at 2:10 and 2:15. Don Thomas has got a PB, the former world champion. Hard to believe that was 11 years ago in the searing heat and humidity of Osaka. PB at 2:37. This for 2:20. Yeah, should look easy for someone of Thomas's class, and it does. 3rd in Oslo this year. Joint 6th in the world indoors. Clean card so far. Filling up nicely this afternoon. We are reliably informed it is sold out this afternoon. The Ostrava Metski Stadium, hosting the Golden Spike meeting since 1961. So this is a region steeped in athletics, and that's why they've turned out in such high numbers. Maxim Nedasko. Yeah, that was good. Crowd already getting involved here, despite the fact that we're in the very early stages. Ilya Ivanyuk, the authorised neutral athlete, is his European teammate. Very interesting to see how Brandon Stark goes. This is Brian McBride, US champion last year. 8th in London at the World Champs. It's good standard so far this afternoon, isn't it? You would expect that, I suppose, because coming off the back of the brilliant Diamond League finals, Brussels and Zurich, it's the last hurrah before their winter of training. And it's so strange to think, Catherine, 2:20, clean card so far. As we look at Sawe, love watching this guy. Wow, he's unorthodox. Not to be with that attempt, but 2-time African champion. Interesting, Catherine, this time next year, we still won't have had the World Championships. They're going to have to peak late next year.
Yep, it's been an interesting season for many this year, hasn't it? With the World Indoor Championships quickly followed by the Commonwealth Games and the European Championships. And here's an athlete, though, that will put a big tick by 2018. Brandon Stark of Australia, Asia Pacific team. Oh, as you would expect, he's had such a glorious season. As you mentioned, Rob, 2:36 after that Commonwealth Games gold in his own backyard earlier in April this season. He was delighted in Birmingham at the Diamond League. I watched him jump over that 2:36 height.
We've had the women's 100-metre hurdles. The men's 200 metres is our second final, as this far end of the stadium bathed in a little bit of sunshine. Here's the official lineup, and it's a good one. Many eyes on lane 4, Ramil Guliev, the reigning world and European champion, flying the flag for Europe. Represents Turkey on any other given day. Really looking forward to this race. On the outside, a late addition and a replacement for Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake, the Briton representing Europe. It'll be Chunde Martina, European champion over this distance back in 2012. The veteran still going strong.
In lane 7 from Asia Pacific.
Joseph Miller, New Zealander, representing Asia Pacific, national record holder at 200. Believe it or not, we'll see him again in an hour's time in the men's discus.
In lane 6,
Very, very good 400-metre runner. Babaloki Thebe, 44.02, African champion over the full one lap. As you can see there, a decent PB over the 200 metres. He'll need to significantly improve on his season's best, and probably will.
In lane 5,
Alonso Edwards, the defending champion, the Pan American representing the Americas. Brilliant silver medal in the Worlds in Berlin, but that was 9 years ago, although he is back down to 19.9 this season.
In lane 4, representing Europe, this year's European
Ramil Guliev, absolutely proving his gold medal last year was no fluke. 4 times inside 20 seconds this season, including that magnificent 19.76 to take the European title. Yuki Koike, Asian Games champion, won it by 0.02 of a second. I was watching in Jakarta. He won it from lane 2 and was very impressive. He'll need to get out hard to chase down Guliev. Titi, reigning African champion, semi-finalist at the Commonwealth Games earlier this year in Australia. Can he dip inside 20 seconds on his very last race of the season? And Alex Quinones of the Americas, the Ecuadorian, third in Paris, Lausanne, Monaco and London. Very consistent season. The final of the men's 200 metres. Quinones in 1, TT 2, Koike Japan in 3, Guliev the reigning world and European champion in 4, Edward in 5, Thebe 6, Miller 7, Martina on the outside in lane 8. 19.87, the championship record set by Wally Spearman back in 2006. Guliev has had an amazing season. Can he finish it with one more victory? He starts in lane 4.
Hlavní favorit samozřejmě Ramil Guliev, který v letošní sezóně zaznamenal 19,76.
Guliev comes on really strong in the second half of the race. Koike running well for Japan. But look at Guliev. He's coming under a little bit of pressure from Edward, and the world champions tying up. Alonso Edward heading the world champion. Edward takes it. Guliev in second, and Quinones for the Americas came through on the far side in lane 1. 20.20 into a fairly stiff headwind. It's a long, long time since Alonso Edwards soared to that silver medal in Berlin, but he is back in form and he's done a job for the Americas here this afternoon.
Well, it was a super victory confirmed in 20.19 seconds, defending his Continental Cup title. He won in Marrakesh in 2014. 28 years old now. It was always on paper, wasn't it, Rob, going to be that battle between Guliev and Edward. Guliev, though, below par in Zagreb last week, only ran a 20.8. So it was what form was he going to have left in September, but sweeping into the home straight, the transition where the athletes come off the bend into the straight, it was Edward that had the strength and the power. He ran his second quickest ever in Lucerne earlier this season, and you thought, you know what? He's coming back. He's coming back to his best form in the days of running 19.81, as you say, 9 years ago. That was a good victory and good points after the hurdle points for the Americas.
Yes, America's first and third in that 200 metres. Disappointment there for Guliev. It's been a very, very good season for the man from Turkey, but perhaps one race too far at the end of a long, long campaign. Merest flutter of a breeze coming across this atmospheric stadium now, and that was a pretty tricky headwind for these guys. I thought that was a class run from Alonso Edwards. Good to see him back to form, Catherine.
It is. It's the form you want as an athlete closing a season that gives you confidence to go into the winter months to train for the big season next year, of course, those Doha World Championships that Rob's mentioned late in October. A tricky season that the athletes will have to prepare for very carefully. But America's good points, 20.19 seconds for Edward. That was very good running indeed. And it's lovely that it's dry. Yes, there is a slight headwind, but it was tipping down with rain this morning. So we're delighted that it's dry for the athletes. So the women's hammer throw continues. Alex Hulley for Asia Pacific, the Australian athlete. A no throw in her second round, 62 meters and 35. Price of the Americas still leading the way from the Darchik. Well, she loses it at the end, and it falls below the 65-meter line. But Na Luo of China, currently in third place with her 67 meters and 39. So she will go forward as the leading athlete from the Asia-Pacific continent.
Yes, we will reiterate this a couple of times, won't we, Catherine, just to make sure we get it in our heads as well as everyone else's. Only the best performer from each continent in the field events will return for a fourth effort. And so many of these field events are genuinely world class, and this is another, Catherine. Ibarguen was so good in the Diamond League, in the long and the triple, and she goes again this afternoon.
Well, she does. Americas again, Tori Franklin and Catherine Ibarguen, who another athlete who will end 2018 very, very happy indeed. The yellow t-shirts representing and supporting Africa. And here is the duo that will represent Africa in this women's triple jump competition. Shabangu on the left, jumps for South Africa, the African Championships triple jump silver medalist this year. Au Anwanu is the late replacement in this event for Africa. She hasn't got a triple jump personal best listed. She's a 6-meter near jumper in the long jump though for the African pair. Asia Pacific, the familiar name of Olga Rypakova, the Kazakhstan athlete, the 2012 Olympic champion, representing half of their team today. Rish, Papa Christou, a nice wave, and the European pairing. Strong duo that, but potentially the strongest duo in this women's triple jump will be the Americans. There they are. Tori Franklin, Catherine Ibarguen, and as Rob mentioned, both Diamond League titles for Ibarguen on the right. The first athlete to win the Diamond League in the triple jump and the long jump in the same year. They'll get underway very shortly.
Fine win there for Alonso Edwards into a pretty stiff headwind. Guliev second, Quinones third, so the Americas taking maximum points in the team competition there. Europe coming home in second and fifth, and a good fourth place for Koika, continuing his good form from the Asian Games, taking that title in Jakarta a month or so ago. So here we go with the map once again. This is the team points we're seeing. We just saw a graphic giving us an indication that Alonso Edwards produced 8 points. The points of both continents' representative go towards the team tally. It's 8 for a victory, 6 points for second, 4 for third, and 2 for fourth. So the Americas very much dominant at the moment, but there is a long, long way to go.
America's leading by 4 points from the defending champions, Europe. Talking about champions, Wlodarczyk, her final throw. Third round. Oh, that's better speed across the circle. Oh, that one's flying, nearing the championship record line. Well, Deanna Price, she had the lead with 72 meters and 64. She screws up her face, Wlodarczyk, but that was better. That was a lot better from the world record holder. 82 meters and 98 she threw in August 2016. That's going to go into the lead and give her a fourth round throw. 73 meters and 45. Takes the lead. And the leading position for Europe. But all distances, as we say, when they go into the fourth round, the slate is white clean.
It is. Qualifying for what we're calling the semi-finals in the fourth round is just that. It's a qualifying, the same as it would be in a traditional championship. The qualifying mark is irrelevant come the final. Sounds good, looks good. That looks to me like it could well be a new championship record. Very close to, very, very close. Championship record is Skomowska, 75-29. Very, very close. Deanna Price, the American, has arrived here for the last competition of the season in superb form. What a climax we could have between her and Wlodarczyk. 75-13, just shy of that championship record, but the fireworks are flying ahead of our fourth round, which we're calling the semi-finals.
And there's confirmation then. Wlodarczyk is leading the way. She'll represent Europe in this fourth round competition. So 4 athletes, 1 throw. The top 2 from this round will then make the grand final with 1 more throw. Here she goes then. Luo for the Asia Pacific team. Well, it's over the 65-meter line. 67.39 in third place overall in the competition.
She's been very, sorry Catherine, she's been very consistent. 66, 67, 66 without producing the really big throws that we've seen from Price and Wlodarczyk.
Right, it's coming through at 67 meters exactly. So she goes in to first place with these 4 throwers in this fourth round, hence the number 1 in the top right-hand corner. Top 2 get a final throw. We've got an idea of who the head-to-head will be in round 5, but sport's a funny old thing. Oguninde then, fourth round. Let's see what she's got. The African team representative. Oh, she takes a tumble. Well, the 4K hammer got out. I hope she's okay. Deanna Price, there we go, making sure, that's nice, that she gets out in one piece. Let's take a look. Caught the edging of the circle, took a little bit of a tumble. Her best today, though, was in round number 2, 59 meters and 15. So she'll finish in this semi-final stage, as we call it, in 4th place. It's worth mentioning, though, in terms of prize money, which is available for the athletes, the prize money is deemed from 8 to 1 in finishing positions. It's just the points, though, we're concerned about over these next 2 days. Wlodarczyk. Luo's leading the way, 67 meters. She's got to get in the top 2, the world record holder. Well, it's nearing the 75-meter line again. 73 meters and 45 in round number 3. She's going to put herself in first place in this 4th round, which means she's guaranteed to throw in the final round, because even if Deanna Price now throws further, she will progress as a top 2 finisher in round number 4. Burst of speed there, 73 meters and 34, slightly down on her 3rd round effort, but she will be in a throw-off in round number 5.
She will, probably alongside Deanne Price, but Price needs to beat 67 meters to join Wlodarczyk in a 1-throw shootout for top prize individually. Oh yes, she's put together a superb card. I know we're disregarding the 75-13 in the 3rd round, but she really has come in fine form, the American. That was massive.
It's the first field event, Rob, of this Continental Cup, and I love it. And I tell you why, because it's going to script so far. Deanna Price and Anita Wlodarczyk in the final round 5, a throw-off for the points. 74 meters and 97, just shy of her 3rd round throw. But it will be Americas and Europe taking on each other in the 5th and final round.
And the only important thing to mention there, she's delighted, it's 1 throw to finish first. Their efforts in the 4th round, what we're calling the semi-finals in this format, will only be relevant if both athletes produce a no-throw in this one-off battle for the title. It's a lot simpler than it sounds. But it's 1 throw for top points for each of their continents respectively. And it's the big 2 who've made it all the way through. The class has risen to the top. You can change the format, you can change the rules, but the class still gets to the top.
It's a perfect script so far in this first field event. Here she goes then, the world record holder. She throws for Poland, but today it's for Europe. Remember, Colin Jackson, team captain, has picked this event as his joker. If Wlodarczyk wins, she'll get the 8 individual points, and it will be added to her teammates' points of Tavernier, who finished in 5th. If they win overall, they'll get double points, 16 points up for grabs potentially. Wlodarczyk, clean scorecard, 1 throw for the win. What's the world record holder got as the sun comes out in Ostrava? Oh, it's a huge roar. Well, it falls below the 75-meter line. All right, slight little nod there from Colin Jackson, that's okay. Nothing else that goes before matters. It's about the measurement in this throw that America's Deanna Price has to beat. And I have to say, Deanna Price has been peppering that 75-meter line today. Has she done enough? What are the 4 figures? What are the golden figures that Price has to pass? 73 meters and 20. Right, Deanna Price.
Catherine, she has gone further than that in her last 2 rounds, but in this format today, those efforts at the moment count for nothing. This is it, 73-20 or better for Price to take the win here in Ostrava. Big roar, she's looking on anxiously, and she has saved her best for last. Boom!
The face of Colin Jackson on the right knows that the Americas team and Deanna Price has snatched the victory away from him. She pulls a little bit of her face, Deanna Price. 8th at the Olympic Games in Rio, 9th at the World Championships last year. But she's gone over the 75-meter line again, and I'm confident, Rob, this is a new championship record this time. There's daylight between that 75-meter line and where it's landed. That's a great shot from 2 of the best this season in the women's hammer. 75 meters and 46, a championship record, a win for the Americas in the women's hammer throw. And what we'll do is we'll add up the point positions from the 2 athletes from each of those continents. And we'll see which team comes out with the all-important 8 points. What a great competition. In the end, Rob, it was over a 2-meter win in that 5th and final round for Deanna Price to take the victory. I mentioned she's marrying James, her coach, in October. She's had a good year, and she's got good points there.
Such a good card, that, Catherine. 72, 75, 74, 75 with just one no-throw. She was superb. And today, even the great champion Vladarchik was beaten by a better thrower. She can't have any complaints about that. Price was class, time and time again.
So America's Deanna Price picks up 8 points. I'm looking for her teammate. Jennifer Dahlgren was in 6. So we'll add the points together to see who gets the most. Embarguin, women's triple jump, America's representation. Well, the Illumina socks, the white flag is raised. 14 meters and 96 this season. The defending Continental Cup champion. She won it in Marrakesh in 2014 with a jump of 14 meters and 52. A busy year, but a wonderful year. We've mentioned the Diamond League win in the triple jump. Then she traveled 24 hours from Zurich to Brussels and won the long jump Diamond League. When asked which event, Rob, she enjoys the most, she says long jump all day long. It's easier technically.
And she's so good at both.
14 meters and 31 was the distance for Embarguin. After 3 events of 37 then, in 4th place, Africa with 8 points. Asia Pacific in 3rd with 10 points. Europe in 2nd with 18 points. And Deanna Price winning the women's hammer. 1st place and 24 points. Good start for the Americas.
Perfect start, 3 out of 3. They've taken the women's 100 hurdles, the men's 2, and the women's discus with a championship record as well. Donald Thomas, clean card all the way through so far. Former world champion, hoping for another first-time clearance. Little wobble, but it's good. Been around such a long time now, the 34-year-old. Won the Central American and Caribbean Games earlier this year. Big figure in Bahamian athletics. Great to see them showing such strength in the field events as well as the track events. That's perfect so far. Nedastiu needed a 2nd attempt to get over 2:24. Yeah, that's excellent. Great response from the crowd for him. European junior champion last year. Still only 20. Got a silver in Berlin as well. High jump competition, a little way from reaching its climax, but it's just beginning to bubble up nicely.
Oh, the whole competition's bubbling up nicely, isn't it? We saw in the captain's lounge, as we're calling it here, in the Metski Stadium, the 4 captains, the frustration and disappointment of Colin Jackson, the captain of Europe, missing out on his joker card. Next on track is the fast women. It's the women's 100 meters. Another race here that is eagerly anticipated. 17 women have gone under 11 seconds in 2018. 5 of them line up here, including the familiar name of Mary-Jose Talu and the triple European champion Dina Asher-Smith, running for Europe in 5. European record holder over 200, Daphne Schippers will start in 1. And here is the European pair. This is strong, Daphne Schippers and Dina Asher-Smith. Schippers, twice the world champion at 200 meters, 10.99 seconds this season. Asher-Smith, the triple European champion. America's Tenorio Prandini. Twice the US champion at 200 meters, Jenna Prandini on the right. 10.96 seconds this season. Angela Tenorio of Ecuador, 11.01. Then in the shadows on the left, Marie-José Talu and Jeanette Amponza representing Africa. Talu's head-to-head with Dina Asher-Smith this season. She leads 4-3. Does the African athlete. It's taking indoors and outdoors into account over 60, 100 and 200. Amponza will start in 7, the athlete from Ghana, on Commonwealth Games relay silver in 2010. See the entrance there just by the start of the 100-meter line. Asia Pacific represented by Alcalde Anhui. The Chinese athlete on the right, she'll start in lane number 8. And Haja Sadeh Al-Qadi of Bahrain will start slap bang in the middle in 4 between Talu and Asher-Smith. There's the trophy that they're looking for. The beautiful baton trophy for the Continental Cup winners. The women's 100 meters. Skippers Tenorio, Talu, Alcalde, Asher-Smith, Prandini, Amponza and Way. Talu in 3 said, I've had a tough year, personal issues, physical issues, but I want to end on a high. Asher-Smith of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. 3 golds at the European Championships. The 2 fastest women in the world, 10.85 seconds apiece, line up in 3 and 5. The women's 100 meters. The bragging rights for the end of the 2018 season are up for grabs here, as well as points for the continent. Keep your eyes on 1, 3 and 5. So the world leaders of 10.85 in lanes 3 and 5. A decent start from Talu and from Asher-Smith as well in lane number 5. The British athlete, though, has been tracked by Prandini of Americas. Oh, maybe in lane number 3, Marie-José Talu, 11.14 seconds. Takes the victory here in Ostrava. World medals indoors and outdoors. Led the world rankings with Britain's Dina Asher-Smith. It's been confirmed. Africa take the victory, and Marie-José Talu, well, she led 4-3 in head-to-heads over Dina Asher-Smith this season, and she gets the win here in Ostrava.
Very interesting race, that one, Catherine, because Talu, third from the right, was going well. So too was Dina Asher-Smith. What a wonderful season. Asher-Smith began to come under a little bit of pressure there from Prandini, but Talu was not to be denied a superb victory. It's been a great campaign for Asher-Smith, but so too for the Ivorian. She's been so consistent for the entire season, and look what it means to her, coming home with the victory here at the end of such a long, arduous campaign.
Well, she's run 13 100-meter races since May, 8 over 200. A lot of tired athletes in there, Talu, Skippers and Asher-Smith. But in the final flurry, it was Marie-José Talu, the Ivory Coast athlete representing Africa, confirmed at 11.14 seconds, 2 100ths ahead of Dina Asher-Smith.
Last chance for Donald Thomas. Oh yes, that's class. Came in at 2:10, so obviously wanted just to get a feel for the stadium and the conditions here in Ostrava. Needed 3, but he is still in the competition for the Americas, having cleared 2:30. Brandon Stark, he too is on last chance territory for 2:30. Really stepped out of his brother's shadow. Mitchell Stark, his older brother, a world-renowned Australian cricketer, but what a season Stark's had. He's now a world-class operator in his own right. And we continue. Asia Pacific against the Americas. And remember, Asia Pacific have played their joker in this event. A really good climax in prospect with the two men over 2:30. He's been going a long time, Brandon Stark. Those Commonwealth champs, early April. Ilya Ivanyuk needed 3 to get over 2:24. No, not to be this time for the youngster. European bronze medalist this year. Didn't miss that by much. So at the moment, we have Donald Thomas for the Americas over 2:30 and Brandon Stark for Asia Pacific.
The result of the women's 100 metres, Marie-Josée Tarlu grabbing victory from Great Britain and Europe's Dina Asher-Smith, 11.14 seconds, 8 points for the African team. Embargo in this women's triple jump. Open with a 14 metres and 31. She's the event leader. Well, it's over the 14-metre line again. Second at the moment, Olga Rypakova with her first round jump of 14 metres 11. Really enjoyed watching her this season, double up in both of the jumping events. Defending her Continental Cup victory 4 years ago, as I mentioned, giving away a little bit on the board. But once again, it will be the leading athlete from the continent after the first 3 jumps that will take a then clear scorecard into round number 4. No improvement, 14 metres and 23.
Well, we saw Tarlu take the individual honours in the women's 100 metres for Africa. I wonder whether the African continent will be celebrating after the women's 1500 metres. Really intriguing race, this one. We've got some class operators. Second fastest in the world this year, Shelby Houlihan, the American. She's in sensational form. There's Figueroa of Puerto Rico. And there is Shelby Houlihan on the right-hand side. 4th in the world indoors. She won Eugene and Lausanne. 4 times the US champion. Twice this year, the 15 and the 5,000. So she's got really good strength as well as speed. Winnie Chebet representing Kenya. And Rababe Afari, 8th last year in the world champs. Chebet is the African champion. World Youth Silver way back in 2005, Winnie Chebet. Lyndon Hall. Very good season for her, just a shade outside 4 minutes. She's the first of the 2 Asia Pacific athletes with P.U. Chitra, Asian Championship or Asian Games bronze medalist, the 23-year-old for India. And Sophia Enaui, European silver medalist, bronze at the European indoors last year with Simona Zolovala, the other European, representing Europe but flying the flag for the Czech Republic. She'll get a great reception as well. Arguably the women to watch will be Chebet of Africa, Lyndon Hall, the Australian, Shelby Houlihan of the Americas, and Enoui of Poland. Now Brandon Stark. He's in second place at the moment because he needed a second attempt to get over 2:27. 2:32. This would be only 4 centimetres shy of that joint Oceanian record. No, timing just a little bit off there for Stark. So both he and Thomas have missed 1 at 2:32, but Stark is in second place as a result of needing 2 at 2:27. The big Bahamian getting himself fired up. trying to maintain his focus and his concentration. There is a lot happening here in the stadium.
I think he's been told to pause by the official so they can get this women's 1500 metres underway. See the windsock there, really is swirling. It's in a few headwinds in the sprint event so far. But this women's 1500 metres, eagerly anticipated. It's going to be interesting to see how they run this one, Rob. Individuals want times, but points are up for grabs. Now he's been allowed to go. Donald Thomas.
He's already leading for the Americas, but he'd love to go clear at 2:32 because he knows Brandon Stark is in the form where he could go over 2:32, even though he has also missed with his first attempt. This would equal his season's best PB a couple of years ago, 2:37. Here he goes then, second attempt. No. I think actually his preparation for that may have been interrupted because he thought he was going to pause for the start of the 15. Inaui, Chitra, Arafi, Shelby Houlihan, maybe the marginal favourite. Zalava of Europe, Hall of Asia Pacific, Chebet, the Kenyan representing Africa, and Figueroa of Puerto Rico in one. Houlihan for the Americas in that distinctive purple vest, and Chebet in the yellow of Africa. Arguably the two big names here, but don't forget about Inaui and Arafi. Inaui's on the outside for Poland. Arafi, African silver medalist 2018. Only 8 in this one, women's 1500 metres. So will they decide to go hard and fast here when it's Winnie Chebet loping her way to the front? Houlihan has run some fine tactical races this year. She won Eugene and Lausanne, and Houlihan is on the shoulder of Hall, who's tucked in on the inside, and Inaui is on the outside. Houlihan, Catherine, has had some really good races this year. Could be pretty tight between her and Winnie Chebet.
Indeed, Houlihan, superb over the 5,000 metre distance, isn't she? The America's record holder at that. But as I say, Rob, it's going to be interesting to see how they run this. Individually, you want to run well when you're in a team event, but will it play on the minds of the athletes in terms of the points? Not for many, I suspect. And Chebet at the moment wants the victory here, and he's happily controlling this one at a pretty slow pace, it has to be said, going round with 3 laps to go.
Yes, I think in the 1500, it's every woman or every man for themselves, and then they'll look for their Continental teammate once the race has finished. And this will be run very differently to the 3000s. The 3000 flat and steeplechase have a devil take the hindmost approach, where at 4 laps to go, we will start to see an elimination, and only 4 women or men will have an opportunity to contest the last 400. But this is still the traditional race, and this is very slow and very comfortable, which is why Chebet and Houlihan and Orafi and Hall look as though they're out for a warm-up before a rep session.
Top 4 dominated by 2 continents, isn't it, at the moment? Chebet leading for Africa's. Arafi, sub 4 minutes this year in the yellow for Africa's as well, with then the violet vest of the Americas. But Chebet, nice and easy, as is everybody so far in this 1500 metres. 2 athletes have gone sub 4 minutes this season. That's gone out the window now. They're going to wind it up, and it's going to be a burn up in this women's 1500 metres. Chebet still leading the way, nice and easy.
Very steady pace, this one. Nobody has become detached. Very closely bunched, and in a little while we will see what will probably be a 400 or 500 metre burn up to finish first. Africa 1 and 3, America's in second, but their other athlete, Figueroa, the Puerto Rican, is right at the back.
Right in the centre of his shot though, Inaui for Europe. Silver at the European Championships this year. She has a wonderful finish, does the Polish athlete. She's trying to get herself in a good position in the blue vest, but it's Hall that decides she wants to take this one over. Now we're picking up the pace in this women's 15.
Yes, Lyndon Hall clearly deciding that enough's enough. She doesn't want to leave it to the last 300 or 400 metres. So she leads from Chebet, Arafi, Chitra and Zalova coming wide for Europe and the Czech Republic in particular, which is why the crowd are responding. Zalova leads at Lebel in the women's 1500 metres, and she's really going for this. Fantastic intent and effort from the youngster. She was 5th in the European Championships last year. Chebet is in 2nd, Arafi 3rd. No move from Houlihan just yet. She's in 4th, but she's usually the absolute master of timing her runs to perfection. Perhaps a little rush of adrenaline from Zalova, but you can't blame her. She's still hanging on in 2nd. Chebet leads, Arafi in 2nd, and Zalova just clipped her heels on the curve there, but look at Houlihan. Her head is not moving at all. The American coming past Arafi, and the two class women really going for this. What an effort though this is from Houlihan and Chebet, but Winnie Chebet is going to hang on here. The end of a long season. Chebet takes it, Houlihan 2nd, Arafi 3rd, so that's good news for the African team, 1st and 3rd. Houlihan looked very comfortable as she came round with 200 to go, but she just didn't quite have enough strength to close down Winnie Chebet, the African champion, over the last 75 metres.
Well, Winnie Chebet was tracking everything, happy to lead at the slower pace early doors in that women's 1500 metres, and then covered anything that moves and got the victory in just over 4 minutes 16. Good points, as you say, Rob, for Africa. 8 points with Chebet's win. Arafi in 3rd, so 14 points in total. So we'll add up the rest of the points from the other continents, but I think they're going to win that one, Africa, and take 8 points. But she tried, didn't she? The Czech Republic athlete just couldn't run the legs off the likes of Winnie Chebet of Kenya. And went as we expected in this format of competition. Nice and cagey. Wound up, and then somebody goes for it.
Yes, Houlihan definitely thought that she had enough there, but just ran out of steam in the last 50. Chebet hanging on well. 4:16, she could probably do that on a training job, but it wasn't about the time, it was about the speed and the tactics over the last 500 metres, and Chebet was not to be denied a good end to her season.
So good points for Africa. They were 3rd overall 4 years ago in Marrakesh, this Continental Cup, renamed for the last few editions from the World Cup. Africa finished 3rd back in 2014, behind Europe, who are defending their title here.
Now Brandon Starr, this is his last chance to challenge for the lead overall. Probably the best of his efforts so far. 2nd place at the end of his season that has brought him the Diamond League title and the Commonwealth crown and a massive PB of 2:36. So he can't complain with 2018, but it's to be 2nd place for the man representing Asia Pacific. Donald Thomas has elected to pass at his last attempt at 2:32, so we'll see him try and get over 2:34.
Confirmation of the semi-final in this women's triple jump, round number 4. They were the leading 4 athletes from each of the continents that will battle now with a clean slate to make the top 2 for the 5th and final round. Olympic champion in Barguin, European champion Papachristou, the Olympic champion in London Ripakova, and Chambangu, the African champion. What a lineup. So, athletes refocusing. In terms of distances, and Barguin leading the way with that 14 metres and 31. She decided to pass on her 3rd round jump. There she is. Got to pull something out the bag now to potentially get into that top 2 position. Ripakova in 2nd, 14 metres and 18. But nothing else counts now. It's all about the distance in round number 4.
Donald Thomas already knows he has finished in first place for himself and the Americas. 2 failures at 2:32. One last chance. 2:34. No. Really good end to his season though. 3rd time clearance at 2:30, and a clean card up until that stage has brought him home ahead of Brandon Stark. Stark in 2nd place. The other Asia Pacific representative, Ghazal, the London bronze medalist, he cleared 2:24 at the first time of asking. So Asia Pacific 2nd and 4th. The Americas 1st and also 6th.
So, women's triple jump. Olga Rypakova. Twice over 14 meters so far. Looking now for a new mark in this 4th round with the 3 other leading continental jumpers. The familiar style, the loping style. It's over the 14-meter line. Slightly squiffy angle for us in terms of the camera on the pit. Got to get into the top 2 to do battle in round number 5. Became the first Kazakh athlete to win an Olympic field event title in London when she lifted the Olympic crown. Gave plenty away on the board. 14 meters and 26, a season's best for the Kazakhstan athlete, equaling her season's best. So she's in the lead in round number 4. So she will wait patiently now to see if the 3 other athletes can surpass her mark and knock her out of that top 2 position. Paraskevy Papachristou of Greece, the European champion. 14 meters and 60 this season. Looking to surpass the 14 meters and 26 from Rypakova. Oh, she likes it. Well, the white flag is raised. Her best so far today was a 3rd round, last-ditch attempt at 14 meters and 15 after 2 no jumps. Look at the extension on the step. A lifetime best is 14.73, set a couple of seasons ago. She was hanging in the air for ages after the hop phase into the step. What's the European champion done? I think she's surpassed her 3rd round effort. Distance, of course, only relative in this 4th round in this competition format. 14 meters and 22. She goes into 2nd behind Rypakova by 4 centimeters. But we need the top 2 for the 5th and final round. And Catherine Ibarguen, well, she's just under 15 meters this season. But it's all about this jump. Unbeaten at triple jump in 2018. 7 wins from 7. There's the roar. She had a 1 centimeter win in Zurich at the Diamond League ahead of Shanika Ricketts. But now she's got to pull out at least a 14-meter 23 to pass Papachristou to get into the top 2. What's the world leader got? As expected, something special. She's such a personality. You've really enjoyed watching her this season. We were talking, myself and Rob Walker, beforehand. A year to remember. And we wait for confirmation. She gave away loads on the board, Rob, making it safe because she knows if she nails a good one, she's going to get the distance she needs.
She's so good. I love watching Ibarguen. She's such a good, gutsy competitor and so often gets it right just when she needs it the most.
Like them, 14 meters and 76, giving away nearly 30 centimeters on the board. Pole position in round number 4. One athlete left to get into the top 2. Wow. She's only 20 centimeters shy of a season's best. She gave away nearly 30 centimeters on the board. Her lifetime best is 15 meters and 31. I can tell you her teammate Tori Franklin finished in 5th place with a 3rd round effort of 14 meters and 27. Chabangu of Africa, we're hearing the South African, has retired from this women's long jump competition, and she was in 4th place. So it looks like we're going to go to the 5th and final round with Mbargwin and Ripakova.
The 2 Olympic champions from 2012 and 2016. Great way to finish the competition.
Following on from the women's hammer that was scripted perfectly, the women's triple jump comes down to 2 athletes and 1 final jump. There you go, Mbargwin, Ripakova, the last 2 Olympic champions. The Continental Cup champion in 2010, Ripakova. She's been there, she's won this competition before.
And I watched her 2 weeks ago, once again, producing the goods at the Asian Games in Jakarta. She too is a great major championship, big occasion performer.
1 jump is the distance of this last jump for both of these athletes that matters and tells us where the points are going to go. Oh, red flag. I could see from my commentary position she was way over the board, trying to put in a little something extra in that 5th and final round. So a no jump for Ripakova. 2nd place for the Kazakhstan athlete. Asia Pacific getting some points.
And it will definitely be 2nd place, because even if Mbargwin was to produce a no jump, her 14.76 from the 4th round would then come back into the reckoning. That's how this competition works. The 4th round is only relevant if the 2 athletes battling in the last round, aka the final, produce no jumps. But surely, Catherine, now that the pressure's off, she's going out on a high, Mbargwin, surely.
Twice World Championship gold, Olympic gold in Rio. Team Americas, they played their joker in this event. That was a very smart move from Mike Powell, the world record holder in the long jump, team captain. She loves the sport, she's loved the 2018 season. If she hits the board, I wonder what she's got. Catherine Mbargwin, the final jump in the women's triple jump. She falls back in the sand. Doesn't look like it will be an improvement on her 14 meters and 76. But that is good points for Team Americas, and once again, Catherine Mbargwin of Colombia in any long or triple jump event this season has been absolutely superb. When it matters in that 4th jump, Rob, as you say, under pressure, very, very solid and reliable.
And what did she win that Diamond League title by? Just a single centimetre. So it doesn't matter with Mbargwin. You can put the rest of the field together however you like. At the moment, she's unbeatable. And what a bonanza financially at the end of the season. $50,000 US for both Diamond League victories, long jump and triple jump, and $30,000 for winning this.
14.54, no improvement. As I mentioned earlier, the first athlete ever to win the long and triple in a season in both those Diamond League events. What a year for Mbargwin, and good points for Team Americas, with Asia Pacific in 2nd with Ripakova.
Well, thanks very much, guys. It's all action here in Captain's Corner. There's lots of tactics, there's lots of talking going on. I'll start with Team Africa. A great result in the 1500 meters. You must be pleased.
Yes, I'm so happy for 1500 women.
It was a great result, but of course you didn't use your joker. You haven't used your joker yet, whereas Jana, you've used your joker. Are you smiling? Are you happy?
I'm very happy, boys. You did amazing. So we look like we took that joker out. But I'm actually really proud of Team Asia Pacific because we're pulling some good points in other events too, the women's 1500 and the triple jump just now. So we're doing much better than we were expected.
What I'm loving in that corner there, especially Team Europe, Colin is like a stato. He's got his computer out, he's working out who's going to win what. Mike is relaxed around here, sipping lemonade. He's just chilling out. Colin, are you happy so far with your team?
So far, so good. I'm relieved that we shared the points with the Joker, so that was absolutely fine. Mike, don't worry. We are coming strong.
Now, the reason that loud cough is happening for Team America, this is because you have done well to play your Joker in the women's triple jump. You've won that.
That's right. We got the Joker in the triple jump, so Barker did a great job over there. And we're doing, I think we've won pretty much every race except for that 1500 thing.
It's okay, Mike. No showing off, no showing off. Good. Plenty more from the captains later on. I've got to deal with these lot.
The irrepressible Ewan Thomas. The banter will continue. And Catherine Merry picked up a bronze medal in one of the best women's 400 races we've ever seen back in Sydney. A long time ago now, Catherine, but I'm sure the memories are still strong. And what a fantastic year it's been for the women's 400 metres, and in particular, a certain youngster, Nasser, who is in superb form and should dominate this race.
Indeed, Rob. Yes, Sydney was a long time ago. I don't think I could run 49.5 over 100 metres. Nasser, though, for Asia Pacific in lane number 4. She's been busy, but she's been consistent, and she has been rewarded with a wonderful season. She'll start in lane number 4, the world number 2. Shawnee Miller-Weibo leads the world rankings, the Bahamian, 48.97 seconds she's ran this season. But this is a good lineup here in the women's 400 metres. Annalise Ruby competes for Australia, for Asia Pacific, twice the Australian champion, 51.51 seconds this season. In lane 7, the South African for Africa, Caster Semenya, 3 times world and twice Olympic champion over 800. She ran a 49.96 seconds at the African Championships. That's yet to be ratified. But she's also run a 50.06 seconds. She'll start in lane number 7. Shakima Wimbley, the American, the US champion, world number 3, 49.52 seconds this year. Way under 50 seconds for the first time to win the US title earlier this season. Justina Sviti Estetic, the European champion. She'll start in 5. Personal best form this year, as you can see, 50.41 seconds. But then in lane number 4, the second fastest athlete in the world, Salwa Eid Nasser of Bahrain. World Championship silver last year when still a junior, 20 years old. The pre-event favourite goes in 4. And then for Africa, in lane number 3, Christine Botlewski, 4th at the Commonwealth Games earlier this season. She had a wonderful championship. She set personal best in all 3 rounds. And in lane number 2, we keep an eye on the Jamaican athlete, Stephanie Ann McPherson, 3rd at the Commonwealth Games, 5th in Brussels recently at the Diamond Leagues final. And then for Team Europe, Lisanne de Wit of the Netherlands, European bronze in Berlin just a few weeks ago. It's a good lineup here for the women's 400 metres. Nasser, 6 races at the Asian Games, 2 individual, 4 relays. She earned 3 golds and 1 silver. Then a day later won the Diamond League title, running a fast 49.33 seconds. The meeting record is the world record. You saw it flash up there, 47.6. Marita Koch back in this event in 1985. In 2018, the Continental Cup winner, the Nasser in lane number 4. De Wit, McPherson, Botlewski, Nasser, Sviti, Wimbley, Semenya in 7 and Ruby in 8. So a clean start for 1 lap of the Metsky Stadium here. Wimbley's going off well in lane number 6, as is Nasser, the diminutive figure in lane number 4. She's already taken the stagger outside of Sviti for Europe in lane number 5. There's Semenya on the left to be shocked. So go through 200 metres. NASA in lane number 4 describes herself as fast and furious. It's round the top bend. This is where you run a 400 meters, between 200 and 300 meters, and NASA expectedly leading the way. Semenya now into second place in lane number 7. But NASA, the world number 2 in lane number 4, she's tying up a little bit. Semenya's finishing strong as expected for Africa in second, but she's gonna just about hold on. 49.32 seconds. The World Championship silver medalist. A little round of applause from the athlete in second, Caster Semenya, the South African. Came through, was finishing strong as expected, but the season that this 20-year-old has had has been absolutely phenomenal. In 2015, Rob, her personal best 51.39. 2017 went under 50 seconds for the first time. Now 49.08 is what she ends 2018 with.
She's had a fantastic campaign, and Semenya, by the way, has broken the South African national record, 49.62. No wonder NASA was getting tired towards the end. 49.32, arguably the biggest example of her season. She smashed everyone at the Asian Games in Jakarta, then took 2 7-hour long-haul flights overnight and ran 49.33 in the Diamond League. And here she is once again running a 49.30 something. She's so good, and it took the performance of a lifetime from Miller Weibo, dipping under 49 seconds to beat her this season. That's how good she's been. But what a performance from Semenya now, officially under 50 seconds for the first time. Wow.
So the predicted win from NASA for Asia Pacific. Good points for them, 49.32 seconds confirmed. And as Rob mentioned, the national record for Caster Semenya, 49.62 seconds. That would be a dip finish if we raced.
49.59, Catherine Merry's PB.
Not anymore.
Hasn't done that for a while. Add on 10 seconds, she can probably still do under a minute. Anyway, Donald Thomas with that great third time clearance at 2:30, finishing top for the Americas. Brandon Stark in second. The significance here is that Ghazal finished 4th for Asia Pacific. Stark was second, and I think that means that their joker card paid off. And that's why Asia Pacific have 16 points for the winning team, not 8, because when you play the joker and the team wins, you pick up double the points. Well, the 1500 was rich ground for the Africans. Winnie Chebet coming first, Arafi was third, so the African women coming home as the dominant nation in that 1500 metres. Houlihan of America unable to overhaul Chebet in the last 50 metres or so. Not even halfway through this programme. We hope you're enjoying the action. We have a few very close events, and this could be one of them. The 3 best throwers in the world this year, all going in this one. Daniel Stahl, and there is Stahl, having a joke with the man with whom he normally battles for the titles, Andreas Gudzius, the Lithuanian. Oh, he's playing the games, love it. The big man with the 1,000-yard stare. Stahl was a silver medalist last year at the World Champs, 9th best thrower in history, by the way. What about the Americas, who are playing their joker in this event? Reginald Jagers, World Student Games gold last year, but Frederick Dakers is in cracking form. Won the Diamond League, 2nd best thrower in the world this year, and rumour has it he can run the 100 in inside 11 seconds, which is ridiculous for a discus thrower. El Bashir Mbaki, African bronze this year, the Moroccan representing Africa, and Victor Hogan, 3 times an African champion, now 29 years of age, 5th in the World Champs 5 years ago. Well, they're all getting in the mix, and Joseph Miller on the right there, alongside Matthew Denny, is showing the big guns because he's better known as a 200-metre runner and ran in the 200 at the start of our programme this afternoon. So he's earning his money for Asia Pacific.
I have to say it's because Asia Pacific are short on a pole vaulter and a discus thrower. He couldn't get over the opening height that was going to be required in the men's pole vault, so he says, you know what, for the points, I'll throw a discus.
Breaking news there from Catherine Bering. That's what we like to see. Miller's getting in the spirit of the event, not just for New Zealand, but for Asia Pacific. Well, what a way to start. Daniel Stahl, European silver, world leader. Jaegers, partnered by Frederick Jakers. Team America's confirmation they are playing their joker. Remember, it worked very well indeed for Asia Pacific in the men's high jump. Just a reminder, each team captain is allowed 2 jokers per day, 1 for their continental men and 1 for their continental women. Here's how we stand after 8 events. The Africans are still bringing up the rear, but they will have closed the gap after Chibet and Arafi finishing 1st and 3rd in the 15. Asia Pacific 3rd, Europe 2nd, but Mike Powell up in the captain's chairs is the man smiling by some margin. The Americas are out in front and they're hoping to extend that lead if Dakers and Jaegers can do the business in the men's discus, but Europe have a fine pair in Stahl and Goodzeus.
Well, it was a battle 4 years ago, wasn't it, in Marrakesh between Europe and the Americas. Europe took the victory by 57.5 points 4 years ago. But good banter in the captain's lounge. And they'll get a good view of this next field event for the captains. The women's pole vault, there's your lineup. Caterina Stefanidi vaulting for Europe, Sandy Morris vaulting for the Americas. And there is the European duo, the striking force. Stefanidi of Greece on the right, the reigning World Olympic, European indoor and outdoor champion, the Diamond League champion. Another super season for the Greek athlete. She's being paired with Sidorova, an authorised neutral athlete. Sidorova over 4.85 this season. Stefanidi over 4 meters and 87. The world number 4 Stefanidi this year, but showing the love for Europe. The Americas team, oh, the familiar faces. Yalisli Silva and Sandy Morris. Headbands, 1 yellow, 1 pink. Morris, the world indoor champion, 495 outdoors this season. And of course, Silva, the world champion back in 2015. Altaba, Malfoudi, representing Africa. Nice wave to the cameras. And 1 representation from Asia Pacific, Lisa Campbell. It was the male pole vault I was talking about earlier with Miller that you can't do, not the women's here. They've got 1 representation with Lisa Campbell. A nice wave from her. The Australian athlete, 4.25 this season, a lifetime best for her, 11th at the Commonwealth Games, representing Asia Pacific here today. So this women's pole vault, an event in the Continental Cup since 2002. The Diamond League was quite competitive this year in this women's pole vault event. But back to the track with some more twists and turns, Rob Walker.
Well, Catherine, if we get anywhere near the number of twists and turns that we had in the men's 3,000 steeplechase for the Diamond League climax, we're in for a cracker. Concessless Kipruto's shoe came off and he outdipped El Bakali, the man with whom today he is teamed up for Africa. Big news for the Americas, American Evans Jaeger, who so often runs so well in the major champs and on the Diamond League circuit. He doesn't start, which is a real shame for the American team. Their other representative is Matthew Hughes, very close to the medals twice in the Commonwealth Games over the free steeple. What a team these two will make. El Bakali and Kipruto, no wonder they're playing their joker. Hard to see them being beaten. Kosi Yamaguchi for Japan, and John Koech, the Kenyan, now representing Bahrain, which is why he's teaming up with the Japanese man for Asia Pacific. 4th in the Asian Games, Koech, out in Jakarta a couple of weeks ago. Yamaguchi was 9th in that race in Jakarta. Johannes Chapinelli, former Ethiopian, youngster representing Italy and therefore Europe, and Fernando Caro, European silver medalist this year, 26 years of age. And a real shame that we don't have Evans Jaeger partnering Matthew Hughes. Hughes was 6th in Moscow and in London. He's a fine, fine steeplechaser, and he is the Canadian national champion. Real shame for Jaeger. Mike Powell will be losing points for Team Americas. He's been boasting so far, but I'm not sure he's going to have the bragging rights, because we have the Americans up against a brilliant, brilliant duo from Africa. El Bakali, silver medalist last year in the World Champs, behind Conseslus Kipruto.
Guzius in the men's discus. So you'll know by now, all 8 athletes get 3 throws. We're seeing if he keeps himself in the throwing circle. Well, it's over the 65-metre line. He's a 69-metre 59 thrower this season. Great overhead shot. Well, very athletic, I think. First round throw is going to get a white flag. Strong European representation, as Rob mentioned. Well, a little smile. 67 metres and 86 goes into the lead. Well, let's remind ourselves, Rob, at this point, in terms of the rules for this men's 3,000 metre steeplechase, as we go through the lineup again.
Yes, Caro on the outside, Koech and Conseslus Kipruto. Well, I think he's already in the conversation for one of the all-time greats. Hughes, Chapinelli, Yamaguchi and El Bakali. And the element that brings an added intrigue to this race, this is what we used to call in the old days, devil take the hindmost. When we get to 4 laps to go, we lose the last placed athlete right through to the bell. So in theory, only 4 men should be completing the last lap. And Kipruto has gone to the front with Koech. El Bakali not interested in this pace. Actually, Kipruto just had his heels clipped there. So we're sort of calling it devil take the hindmost. Watch when they come round with 4 laps to go, because we will lose the first athlete, who will still get points for finishing last, but will not be allowed to continue. And should they do so, they will be disqualified from the event. So, Catherine, it almost becomes a little bit like a set of 200-metre reps at the end of each lap. The pace and the time will be completely out the window here. It's going to be very, very tactical.
Well, it is. There's no other way to say it, is there, Rob? There's going to be a lot of tactics involved, some easy pace running, and a little bit of speeding up to make sure the athletes get themselves in the position that they need when we get to that 4 laps to go. But you see Kipruto there in the yellow vest of Africa. This is one of the few major honours that he hasn't won yet, Kipruto, and potentially he could do it with the form he's in a very unique way.
I think he's already, I mentioned it before the race, Catherine, he's not far away from having to be included in the discussion on greatest of all time. Now, I know to steeplechase aficionados that might sound outrageous, because he is yet to win double Olympic gold like the legendary Ezekiel Kemboy, but he's there or thereabouts. This is Joseph Miller, the 200-metre runner, throwing the discus. Sensational effort there from the man representing Asia Pacific, with one tongue lodged firmly in his cheek. Catherine Merry, I reckon you could have thrown further than that.
But he's getting valuable points for his team. I watched a little interview with him yesterday, Rob, and he's like, I couldn't get over the opening hind in the pole vault, and they needed someone in the discus. Have you ever thrown the discus before? I think so, but it wasn't very good. But fair play to him. Joseph Miller, the New Zealand record holder, as we mentioned, over the 200 metres. This will be a personal best. 20 metres and 66 PB, good lad.
Well, you always say an athlete can't do better than a PB in a major championship, but that's fairly easy if you've never even picked up the implement in your entire life. Anyway, now a little update for you here. Traditionally, in these Devil Take the Hindmost races, the athletes begin being eliminated with 4 laps to go. However, because Evans Jaeger did not start in this one, I think the first elimination will actually be with 3 laps to go, because we should have 5 men approaching the bell, and when the bell rings for the last lap, one of those will not be allowed to complete the race, so we will only finish with 4.
Well, we will see, and I hope that has been relayed to the athletes in this competition. That slight rule change with the frustrating withdrawal of Evan Jaeger for the Americas team. But Albacali looking behind him, seeing his teammate Kipruto holding the inside line, nice and comfortable.
Now, Catherine, you sometimes take the mickey out of me because you love the sprint events, and rightly so, and you sometimes think I'm a bit of an anorak for loving the longer stuff. That 3,000 steeplechase, when Kipruto beat Albacali by 0.04 of a second, is one of the great races of the season, I think, especially when you bear in mind that Kipruto's foot was cut to pieces. He kicked off the shoe after about 2 laps.
Totally agree. They're working as a team here, aren't they? The Africa team, everybody bunching up. There's the 2 blue vests of the European athletes, keeping a watchful eye.
And actually, Catherine, the way they went through there, I don't think they were aware that because Jaeger didn't start, the eliminations don't begin until 3 laps to go. So it's complicated enough, Devil Take the Hindmost, let alone when we have a non-starter. Anyway, I promise you, when they come round at the completion of this lap, which will leave 3 to go, 7 will become 6.
So let's get a wide shot on this, because this is where the pace injection's going to have to come. Kari at the back of the field. Faro of Spain in the European vest there is looking to keep himself out of the final place position as they come round with 3 laps to go.
He's looked the wobbliest, Catherine, although John Koech looking a little tired on the inside. Albacali just needs to be a little bit careful here. He's looking left and he's looking right. Now, the man in last place will be eliminated, and that is going to be John Koech. Well, this is incredible. Albacali's had to stop on the infield. He's clearly got a problem. I think he may well have pulled his hamstring. The second of the Asia-Pacific athletes is absolutely shattered. Yamaguchi has got a PB of 8 minutes 30. I think he thought he was going to be eliminated, and he's got absolutely nothing left. And the other athlete from Asia-Pacific has now stopped as well, John Koech.
Well, Koech technically was last with 3 laps to go, and you saw a very quick glimpse of the scoreboard on the back straight, which flashes up the name of the athlete that's going to be eliminated. You see Koech on the left of your shot here, but an injury's been picked up by Albacali.
He turned his ankle when he clipped the inside of the track, Catherine. So then there was a shove in the back from Yamaguchi. Koech had finished last, so he needed to stop. Wow.
And they're coming round again with now 2 laps to go. There is a clear last place running out. Looks like the other Asia-Pacific athlete that's going to be eliminated. Albacali, you're going to see on your shot getting medical attention there by the finish line clock. 2 laps to go.
Yes, and coming round now, absolutely shattered. Yamaguchi, well, it's almost putting him out of his misery. He's absolutely exhausted. And the other key element about Albacali injuring his, I'm pretty sure it was his ankle, Catherine. The other element there is that the African team have now played their joker, and that won't help them, the fact that Albacali's gone down. Hughes from Conceslas Kipruto, and a long, long gap back to Chapianelli, the European, in 3rd, with Caro, the long-haired Spaniard, a long way behind in 4th place.
So Hughes takes the water for the Americans, but here comes Kipruto. Oh, it's a Saturday stroll here in Ostrava, getting himself in a good position, will negotiate the barriers. He's going to be 1 lap to go in this men's 3,000 metre steeplechase. Africa and Kipruto, Hughes and the Americas, followed by the 2 European athletes.
Kipruto takes the bell in this very eventful men's 3,000 metre steeplechase. Hughes is in 2nd place, Ciappinelli 3rd, Caro is 4th, and the 2nd of the Asia-Pacific athletes now coming up to elimination. There was no elimination on the lap on which El Bakali didn't finish the race. So now we have lost the 2 Asia-Pacific athletes. So we have the fall down the back straight. It's Concestas Kipruto who is already geeing up the crowd. 2 barriers still to go. Matthew Hughes in 2nd. Ciappinelli's running well in 3rd. Caro is a long way adrift of his European teammate in 4th. And this is just a jog for Concestas Kipruto. He's the reigning Olympic champion, the reigning world champion, the reigning Commonwealth champion, the reigning African champion, the Diamond League winner for 2018, and now he adds the Continental Cup to an endless list of achievements. He has now won absolutely everything available to him. Matthew Hughes, 2nd place. Ciappinelli coming under a tiny bit of pressure from Caro for the 3rd spot. Good team performance there for the Europeans in 3rd and 4th. But the headline there is that El Bakali, who we fully expected to challenge Kipruto for the individual win, is injured, didn't finish. So the Africans playing their joker has backfired.
Kipruto takes the title. You just know he could have won it any which way how. Such is the talent. But Europe picking up 11 points there, as you mentioned, Rob, for the 3rd and 4th place finish. There's the officials telling Koech. 2 officials and 1 big board on the back straight. But the confusion came with the injury to Al Bakali. He was off the track on a stretcher. So Africa get the win. And it has to be mentioned that the points are distributed to the athletes through the rest of the field, dependent on when they were pulled out. So the points are still given. But easy as you like. But yes, the joker was played. An injury, unfortunately, played a part there for Africa. But Kipruto, beautiful stuff. Was geeing the crowd up, Rob, with about 200 metres to go. Enjoyed that one.
He's one of the best there's ever been, and he's still only 23.
Well, he's taken a well-deserved lap of honour. As Rob mentioned, finally, he is now the Continental Cup champion, to add to his long list of achievements. Signing autographs here at the Metzger Stadium, but the men's discus throw is continuing. And Jaegers of the Americas, 62 metres and 12 in the 1st round. Looking to go a little bit further here. He's done 68 metres plus this season, and that's a bit better towards the 65-metre line. World Student Games champion last year. Jaegers, who throws to the United States of America. Looking to get into that 4th round by being the leading Asia-Pacific thrower, sorry, the leading Team Americas thrower, and 63 metres and 49. He's in 3rd at the moment, behind the European and the Australia for Asia-Pacific.
Good use. No throw in the 1st round for the big man. Such a good performer. He's a huge presence. That's much better. And by the way, Frederick Dakers only 58 metres in the 1st round, so we would have expected Dakers, and he still could be, to be the Americas representative coming back for the 4th round, but he needs to find something big in the 2nd and 3rd rounds, because Jaegers, his Continental teammate, is in 3rd place. Good use, giant figure, 66.95. That's more like it from the Lithuanian.
So points flying around, thick and fast. The action's continuing very shortly on the track with the men's 400-metre hurdles. eagerly anticipated that race when you look at the lineup.
Arguably, that's been one of the events of the season, Catherine. Reginald Jagers, a left-hander. He is actually the best thrower in history as a left-handed discus thrower, 24 years of age, 68-61. He's improved by not too far off, 6 meters this season. But that one into the mesh.
He's still leading though, isn't he, for the Team America's duo. He's in third position with 63 meters and 49 in the second round. So we'll have to wait and see if Frederick Dakers can improve the Jamaican and knock him out as the leading contender from his continent. Mbaki then for Africa, down in 7th place, 54 meters and 3 centimeters. Hogan's leading the way for them with a 60-meter 05 throw. Hogan's in 4th at the moment, so it's all going to change in the next couple of throws. Mbaki came and represented the 54 meters and 3 in the second round. Was his best effort of the 3. Finishes down in 7th. You see the wobble through the flight of the discus. But it's his teammate Hogan who's going to have to see if he can hold on.
Mbaki's contribution to the Continental Cup is over. 7th place for him. But Dakers still needs to produce something good in this competition as Matthew Denny now tries to close the gap on Goodzeus, who's now in the lead with 66.95. Very consistent card so far. 63.99, 63.15. That was another solid effort by the Australian, who at the moment will be coming back for the semi-final, which is what we're calling the 4th round. And then the top 2 will return for one throw to try and take the title.
Well, himself and his teammate Joseph Miller had the battle to get through to that 4th round and represent the continent, and I think Matthew Denny will be very pleased that he beat the 200-meter specialist to represent them. Next on track, the men's 400-meter hurdles. This event, it's always been an African or America's victory since the conception of the World Cup, the now Continental Cup, since 1977. Ed Moses 3 titles, Samuel Matete 3 titles. Only once has a European won this in 2010, Di Green. Will it be Carsten Voorholm of Europe in 4 to be the 2nd European ever to win the title? Or could it be Europe's Yasmani Capello here in lane number 8? The world number 5 this year, the athlete from Turkey, 47.81 seconds. 3rd in the Zurich Diamond League final. European gold in 2016 and silver in 2018. Takakushi Abi of Japan starts in 7, a semi-finalist at the World Championships in London last year, 48.97 seconds. Just 3/100 shy of his personal best this season. In lane number 6, runs for Algeria, representing Africa, the reigning African Games and African champion, Abdelmalik Lahulu, 48.47 this year. In lane number 5, Kyron McMaster for the Americas, retained his Diamond League title in Zurich. 21 years old, the world number 3, 47.54 this season. Then in lane number 4, the roar will be huge for Europe's Carsten Voorholm, the European champion, the world champion. 44.87 on the flat, the world number 4 this year. Abdurrahman Samba running for Asia Pacific. The world leader, the 2nd fastest man in history. In lane number 2, the defending Continental Cup champion, Cornel Fredericks. Representing Africa's the South African, 49.3 this season. He starts in 2 and completing the lineup, Ansert White, the Jamaican, representing the Americas in 1, an Olympic finalist in Rio in 2016. So 5 men this season have run under 48 seconds. 4 of them are here. Carsten Warholm of Norway in 4. Team Europe are playing their joker. They believe in the world champion. Samba, world lead, 46.98 seconds. Just behind the world record of Kevin Young from 1992. The men's 400-meter hurdles. White, Fredericks, Samba, Warholm, McMaster, Lahulu, AB and Capello. Warholm will start fast in lane number 4. Keep your eyes on Samba, Warholm, McMaster and Capello in 8. So a good start. It's eagerly anticipated, this race. Samba of Qatar goes in lane number 3. He started well with the white headband. But Carsten Warholm always runs the first part of his race hard. He's flying down the back straight, the European athlete in lane number 4. Cut back a little bit of the stagger on McMaster outside him. So round to the 200-meter point, Europe in a good position here. But here comes Samba in lane number 3. Unbeaten in this event since August last year. The Qatari athlete in lane number 3 enters the straight here of Ostrava. Keep your eye on Ansert White in lane number 1. Samba, White, Warholm, Capello over the 10th and final barrier. It's going to be good points for Asia Pacific, 47.39. White finishes in second, Warholm for Europe in lane number 4. But the season that Abderrahman Samba has had continues and ends wonderfully well. He punches the air. He had a haircut yesterday here in Ostrava, and he said they cut it a little bit too short, but it didn't make a difference. The 23-year-old takes victory, 47.37 seconds, equaling the championship record set by Ed Moses in 1981.
Rounded down after the end of the race by 200ths from 47.39. That, I make it, was his ninth sub-48 400 hurdles this season. He's just in phenomenal form. I was watching the clock thinking, wow, how close is he going to go to 47 here? Ansert White ran brilliantly for second place. An excellent run for him. Season's best by some margin. Warholm, I just thought, looked a fraction tired and went so hard so early. It's been a good campaign for Warholm, but he has played second fiddle to Samba the entire season. When you think, Catherine, Samba's PB last year was 48, low 48s, and that came at altitude, and he's now the second fastest in history with 46.98. He's so new to this event, he's so raw and so talented. Either he or perhaps Ray Benjamin, who's the only class act from this year missing from that race we've just watched, surely one of the two of them is eventually going to break Kevin Young's world record.
Well, he has the talent, he really has, and there is confirmation. Samba equaling that championship record set by the great Ed Moses. He's won it 3 times. Samba's up and running with a first Continental Cup win. Good points and a super race from potentially the future world record holder in the men's 400-meter hurdles. And it's such a young event, Rob, when you look. Samba 23, Warholm 22, McMaster 21. The future is bright in men's 400-meter hurdling. And the field events continue. There's your lineup for the men's long jump competition. And there's your pair to represent Asia Pacific. The familiar moustache of Henry Frayne, the Australian, on the left. Jinan Wang, the Chinese athlete, world number 3 this year on the right of your shot there. 8 meters and 47 the Chinese athlete's jump. Not seen much of him. We'll see what he's got today. And a nice round of applause for themselves. For the European athletes, Nikiforov, Tentoglu, 8:25 this season. Santoglu, the Greek athlete, the new European champion, potentially flying the flag for Europe. Then Team Americas, Glasser, Henderson, the Rio Olympic champion, Jeff Henderson.
And from Team Africa,
World number 4 this year.
champion, joined by a two-time African
And then completing the lineup, Team Africa, Bereba and Samai. Such depth South Africa individually have in this event this season. The likes of Luvo Manyonga, second in the world rankings. But it's down to Rushral Samai, the South African, to lead the way for the African team here today. World number 6, 8:42 this season. So this men's long jump competition, as expected, high quality Continental Cup. All the athletes over 8 meters this season. But Dakers in the discus, the big man.
And Dakers has had problems here. He won the Diamond League in fine style. Frederick Dakers, one of the 3 best throwers in the world this year, and by some margin. A hotly anticipated event this, one in which Mike Powell has elected to play the joker. So Dakers really desperately needed that 66-64 in the 3rd round. He will be the representative in the 4th round that we're calling the semi-finals for the Americas. The Jamaican producing a big throw exactly when required. So 4 men remaining, 1 throw each, and then the top 2 will come back for what we're calling the final, which is the 5th round. Denny, Goodsuse, Dakers and Hogan. 61 metres there for Denny. So it's a disappointing effort there for him, because his previous 3 efforts that are now irrelevant were all over 63 metres. Goodsuse, 66.95, sandwiched between 2 no throws. He is a giant human being and a huge talent. Former world junior champion, won Oslo, won here on the Golden Spikes meet in Ostrava, world and European champion. Here he goes, one effort here to try and finish in the top 2. Big, very big. Oh, but he gets the red flag. Well, that's it as far as Goodsuse is concerned. Holds his hands up. Such is the brutal nature of this contest. Let's have a look and see where the problem was. Foot on or over the rim. Well, he knew that he had a problem. And he's only had that 1 valid effort from his 3. What an opportunity then for Dakers, with one of his big rivals here not registering a mark in the 4th round. It's taken him a little while to warm up to this one. That heads towards the right-hand side. It's just under 65 metres, but we've only got Denny's effort, 61.84. With Hogan still to throw. He produced 63.49 in the 3rd round. So the big names that we were expecting to produce the goods have just struggled for form a little bit here. Goodsuse has gone. Dakers, though, you suspect, will be returning 63.86. So he will have 1 further throw. Hogan needs to produce better than Matthew Denny's 61.84 if he is to return to challenge Dakers in what we're calling the final, which is the 5th round, and no. So it's the only 2 men who produce valid throws in the 4th round. Denny, the Australian representing Asia Pacific, and Dakers, the Jamaican representing the Americas, who are playing their joker in this, remember. They will throw again for the title. Disappointment for Hogan, the 3-time African champion.
Well, on this showing, Rob, Dakers has a near 3-metre advantage, but it's all or nothing now in this final 5th round, isn't it? It's the distance of this 5th round throw that is going to make the difference to see who wins this competition. There's the usual pre-throw routine of Dakers. Such a nice guy. As you say, they're built like an absolute man mountain.
Here goes Matthew Denny, world youth champion a few years ago. Got a hammer in the Commonwealth, got a hammer silver in the Commonwealth Games, 4th in the discus. One throw to try and win the competition. And there's a wry smile on Denny's face. He knows that's not going to be enough. But there are only 2 of them. It's good. It's a good 2nd place finish for him, isn't it? But the chances are Dakers will come out and produce a solid effort. But if he doesn't, Denny will win with what? Below 55 metres. That's the nature of the competition under this format. He is in 1st place. He's guaranteed to finish no lower than 2nd. And he's laughing because 54-53 has put him in the lead.
As you say, Rob, he's got to get a mark in here, though, hasn't he, Dakers? We know what he can do, but this is a throw that counts. America's joker was played, last throw.
Anything over 55 metres. Oh, did he stay in? His foot seemed to wobble. It was a massive throw. Did he get the white flag?
Yep.
Wow, that was close. Oh, dearie me. There were little remnants there of Erky Newell from the decathlon back in Sydney. Wow, watch his feet here. Look how close he got. Oh. That was very, very, very tough. I thought I saw a little flash of red there. Outside that circle. But at the moment, it's looking good for Dakers. He's got a white flag.
He's come through at 67 metres and 97.
67.97. It's a huge throw. But wow, he was living dangerously there in terms of his technique and whether it was a valid throw. Anyway, they played their joker and Dakers played his top trump in the 5th round.
Well, indeed, America's 8 points, 67 metres and 97. Jager's in 6th for them with 63 metres and 49. So the individual points will be added together. Where you can hear the athletes discussing the rules of this Continental Cup.
Well, it's interesting, Catherine. We were at the press conference and the president of the IAAF said, look, said Bashika, it's not always going to work when we do this, but we have to try. And so far, we've seen some very, very intriguing field and track action. And we've had one event over 3,000 metres. That was the steeplechase, which produced all sorts of drama. Here we go with the 3,000 metres flat for women. Sifan Hassan and Constance Klosterhalfen, that's Klosterhalfen on the right, of course, flying the flag for Europe. Hassan, the European champion. This year, world indoor silver over the 3,000 metres. Klosterhalfen had a knee injury and lost half her season, but she looks as though she's coming back to some form. Muriel Caneo, Pan American champion, 31-year-old. Going with Lauren Paquette from the USA, 4th in their national championships over 5,000 metres this year. Right, Helena Bering, the 5th fastest woman in history over 3,000 metres, and Sabere Teferi, the Ethiopian, also representing Africa alongside her Kenyan compatriot in this case, as far as the continent's concerned. Teferi's a world cross and world 5,000 metre silver medalist. Genevieve Lecars and Nozomi Tanaka. Tanaka, by the way, has only just turned 19, world junior champion over 3,000 metres earlier this year. Lecars, PBs in the Olympic finals in the steeplechase and the 5,000 metres, so she's a good major stage performer. And there's the trophy they're all vying for, one in which the Americans believe they've got just one hand on the title, but there's a long way to go. Frederick Dakers taking first place there and 8 points. Remember, they've been playing their joker for the Americas. Dakers did what was required, and that's why the Americas have 16 points instead of 8, because when you play your joker, it's double the points if you win the event. Well, we're getting there, aren't we? We're about, what, halfway through, maybe just a fraction over that in terms of our live athletics here in Ostrava this afternoon. Africa in 4th, Asia Pacific 2nd, Europe in 3rd, and the Americas now, well, we've just seen them play a joker. They're extending their lead, but only by 9 points. Let's see how the various continents get on in this one. Tanaka on the left. Helena Bering, what a season it's been for her. She won an absolutely sensational 5,000 metres in the Diamond League, beating Hassan by just a whisker. Bering will be the favourite for this one. Africa playing their joker here, by the way. Their other athlete is Teferi, so it's no surprise. Hassan on the left and Teferi there on the right. Now in the middle of your picture. Twice a World Championship silver medalist. Once in the 5, once in the cross-country. And Klosterhalfen on the inside for Europe, coming back to some form after losing about half the season with a bad knee injury. And once again, we have this devil take the hindmost scenario. 8 athletes in this one. So when we come round with 4 laps to go, the woman in last place will be eliminated. So there'll only be 4 women contesting the very last circuit of the 7.5. A little bit of a wobble there from Paquette on the start line for the Americas. Sifan Hassan has gone straight to the back. Helena Bering isn't interested in this pace too much at the moment either, but I think other than Christian Coleman's fireworks running, what was it, 9.79 for equal 6th in history, I thought the other 2 races for the Diamond Leagues that stood out at the end of the season, Brussels and Zurich, one was Kipruto against El Bikali in the 3 steeple, and the other one was Helena Bering against Sifan Hassan in the 5,000 metres. That was a sensational race. Bering currently about 3rd from the back here with the long ponytail. She's one of the world's all-time greats, I think, when it comes to 3,000, 5,000. She's a great 1,500 metre runner as well, so maybe we will see another duel come the last lap between her and Sifan Hassan, but with this devil take the hindmost, we're going to see some cagey tactics as well, Catherine, before we get down to the last lap burner.
Well, indeed, we saw it in that men's 3,000 metre steeplechase, as you say, Rob. So there's no reason why it's going to be any different here. But Klosterhalfen, the German, happy to take the lead for Europe. Still just 21 years old. She's been around a while now. 7th at the World Indoor Championships over the 3,000 metres in Birmingham, England, earlier this year. But as you mentioned, Bering was good before maternity, took 2015 off to have her daughter, and there on the left of his shot in the yellow of Africa, but making the move. Here we go then, there's Hassan, so Klosterhalfen, Hassan, Europe 1-2 at present.
Klosterhalfen just opting to make it an honest pace early on, and we are in the very early stages of the women's pole vault with Sidorova coming in for her first vault, trying to get over 4:45.
Indeed, 360 was the opening height. We've lost a couple of athletes, but Sidorova is not expected to be one of them. There you go, the Russian national, over 485 this season. Enters the competition at 4:45, pops over just nicely. Stefanidi yet to enter the competition. She's due to enter at 4 metres and 65. But a good start for Europe and a good start for Sidorova, former European champion indoors and out. And then for Africa in the men's long jump, Rochwell Samai, 8 metres and 42 this season. wonderful competitions with his teammate Luvo Manyonga, representing Team Africa here today. Wants to start strong. The leading athlete from each of the 4 continents, as usual, will go round into the 4th round. Samai. The hitch kick technique looks just past that 8-meter line. Wonderful season this year in the men's long jump. Echevarria of Cuba leading the way, 8 meters and 68 with his jump in Germany. Manyonga 10 centimeters behind. Perfect on the board for the twice African champion. He awaits his distance. 8 meters and 5 into pole position.
Now coming round. We're not too far away from 4 laps to go. So we are going to lose an athlete here, and look at the back. We're focusing on Bering and Klosterhalfen at the front, but it's the athlete at the back at the end of this circuit who will be eliminated, Paquette, and it's maybe going to be Corneo. Corneo is just eliminated. The Colombian representing the Americas only just run out of it, and she has indeed stopped, because otherwise she'd be disqualified and receive no points at all. But it was a real battle there, and you can see Paquette on the right of picture, the other Americas athlete. She only just managed to beat her Continental compatriot, and she already looks absolutely shattered. So she looks as though she'll be the next casualty when they come round with 3 to go.
So a sea of yellow for Africa, leading the way in this women's 3,000 metres. Klosterhalfen for Europe, keeping close attention on the shoulder of Helen Obiri. And as Rob mentions, dropping off the back now, the second athlete for the Americas. Looking like she's going to potentially be removed from this women's 3,000 metre field. A few of the athletes checking over their shoulder, checking their position.
And I wonder whether that was part of the problem for El Bakali, because he was looking round so much in the 3,000 steeplechase. He caught his heels. There's Paquette. Her race is about to come to an end. 3 laps to go, and we lose another. So we've lost both of the Americas representatives, and last now by some margin is the teenager, Tanaka, who is some 15 metres or so adrift of this group already. So it's kind of, at the moment, Catherine, it's taking care of itself, but one of the leading 5 is also going to have to go. So that's where it's going to get interesting, because I think Tanaka, barring an amazing piece of acceleration over the last 250 on this lap, Tanaka will have gone.
Yeah, she's not going to catch the likes of Lecaze there and Hassan, is she, in this leading group of 5? So Tanaka from Japan, for her continent, will be looking to potentially therefore be removed. Oh, a little bit of argy-bargy, Hassan, Klosterhalfen. Remember, Africa have played their joker in this event. Now, we know who's going to be removed. There she is, the Japanese 19-year-old. Still will pick up individual points as well, don't forget, for their continent. But now we're coming round with 2 laps to go.
Hassan leads from Teferi. Klosterhalfen, the talented young German, she's in 3rd with Helena Bering 4th. Lecaze, there's Tanaka's race coming to an end. Lecaze has been dropped. So actually in this race, Devil Take the Hindmost has taken care of itself. And what a race we've got in prospect here, Catherine. We've got 4 world-class women here. And are we edging towards another classic finish between Hassan and Obiri? It looks as though it's very definitely heading that way. The race is playing into the 2 class acts. And by the way, a shade inside 68 seconds for that lap when they'd been tickling along at 70s and 71 plus change. That's why an athlete of the quality of Lecaze has been dropped so seemingly effortlessly. They've increased the pace.
They have indeed. So Lecaze, the Australian, is going to be dropped on this lap. So the 4 big guns are going to come round to hear the bell with 400 metres to go. Europe, Africa, Africa and Europe. Africa have played their joker, don't forget. 1 lap to go. Hassan leads.
They take the bell in the women's 3,000 metres. Sifan Hassan looks over her shoulder. This is a really, really bold move. Lecaze finishes. We're down to a leading trio. What a race this is from Sifan Hassan, hitting the front against Helena Bering, one of the fastest in history. And Obiri looks as though she's a little bit laboured here. Hassan has been very, very bold here. We know how good this European is. She's looking in the big screen. She's watching, and she's still pulling away. This is a superb piece of acceleration. 62.9 for that 400 metres. Hassan is tearing Helena Bering to pieces here. Beri's third, already looking over her shoulder for Klosterhalfen. Sifan Hassan, the European champion over 5,000 metres this year, is finishing her season in remarkable style. Hassan wins by a country mile, 8:27. That is a superb championship record. Teferi takes third, Helena Bering this time too tired, and Klosterhalfen not too far behind her in fourth. That is a massive championship record, surpassing the mark of none other than multiple Olympic champion Tirunesh Depama. 8:33, and it's now 8:27. And when she went to the front with 4:50 to go, nobody, not even Bering, the fifth fastest in history over this distance, could find an answer. That was a sensational performance from Sifan Hassan.
Well, and another championship record here on this first day of action. You could just see, Rob, couldn't you? She's looking over her left shoulder, she's checking where she is. There was a little battle for Africa, of course, behind her, for Teferi and her teammate Obiri. Beri finished in third in the end. Africa did get second and third, but Sifan Hassan, the Dutch athlete, ran that 5,000 metre European record this season as well. And the joy for Colin Jackson, looking across to Mike Powell. We're after you, he's saying. We're after you. Good points there for Europe, finishing in first and fourth.
That was a superb run from Sifan Hassan. Championship record for the European. Teferi taking second. Beri had no answer. Not a bad time, 8:36. And Klosterhalfen, the last of the athletes to finish the race in full. So Africa taking 14 points. They were tied on points, so they shared 7 points each, because it's 8 for a win, 6 for second. That's 14 points. Because they were tied, they got 7 points each, but the Africans picked up 14 because they played their joker.
After 12 events then of 37, in fourth place Africa with 53 points. Asia Pacific currently on 62 points. Let's have a look at the gap now. Well, it's down to 6 points between Europe and the Americas here. We're about 3/4 of the way through our first day of action. Now, Rachel Samai then in this men's long jump competition, looking for support from the crowd. 8 meters and 5 in the first round. He's leading the way. He's the only athlete so far over the 8 meter barrier in this men's long jump competition. His African teammates down in 7th. So it looks like Samai will be the leading contender to go into round 4 from Africa. Oh, good height. Oh, good height and good speed. Twice the African champion, twice the Commonwealth Games bronze medalist. I have to tell you, Samai and Manyonga, for me, I love watching them jump. The camaraderie, the fun that they have. He's veering massively to his left on the runway. The world bronze medalist last year in London. Looks like he's increased his lead. And indeed he has. It's come through at 8 meters and 16. So he's leading the way at the moment from Jeff Henderson from the Americas in 7:98. Stefanidi entering the women's pole vault competition. 4 meters and 65. Easy as you like. Has waited patiently to enter this women's pole vault competition. I mentioned before, it's been a competitive season in the Diamond League. Morris, good early season opener in Doha. Stefanidi, to be fair, was slow to start on the Diamond League this year, but did win her 3rd Diamond League title in 3 years just a few days ago. First time clearance at 4 meters and 65.
Bathed in a little bit of early afternoon sunshine here in Ostrava. stadium that has hosted the Golden Spike meeting since 1961. A stadium that's witnessed multiple world records, and you were here for one of them, Dayron Robles, the 110 hurdles.
Yeah, we were looking at the stats here for the Metski Stadium, a couple over 10,000 metres, as Rob mentioned earlier, from Emil Zatopek. But yes, Dayron Robles in 2008 ran 12.87 seconds. I witnessed it here. It truly was a super run by one of the best of all time. We've had major championships here before. They had the World Youth in 2007. A lot of the athletes, Christian Taylor and a few others, competed in that. And the European under-23s, of course, 6-7 years ago.
Another world-class lineup, this one. It really is. Tom Walsh for Asia Pacific, the world champion, indoors and out. Ryan Krauser is the Olympic champion. He's on the right there, competing alongside Darlan Romani, the South American record holder, on the left of your picture. Neither men you would wish to meet on a dark alley after a couple of glasses of orange juice. Romani won the South American Games this year, the Brazilian. Krauser's gone 22.65, his lifetime best. Now the African duo, Mohamed Hamza, third in the World Youth a few years ago, the Egyptian. Enekwechi, the Nigerian. Damien Birkenhead, 10th in the Olympic Games 2 years ago. And Tom Walsh. Walsh giving away a little bit of height there. They do look, they could almost be twins. Tom Walsh is just in sensational form. He won Zurich in 22 meters 60, one of the greatest shot put competitions in history. Thomas Stanek, world indoor bronze in Birmingham, and Michael Haratic, European champion. National record of 22.08 here in Ostrava in June. So a fine, fine competition beckons in the shot put. Some local legends getting a little bit of applause from the crowd.
Men's long jump, that continues. Nikiforov for Europe, the Ukrainian athlete. Paces up and down. Well, the fans really are enjoying this first day of action. There's the other European representative, Tentoglu. He's currently in 4th place. A couple of no jumps did the Greek athlete. It is still Samai, the South African, leading the way though with that jump of 8 meters and 16. It really is a lovely stadium, reconstructed in 2010, took 4 or 5 years to do that. 15,000 seater, multi-purpose of course, like so many stadiums now are around the world, primarily a football venue for FC Viskodvais. Apologies if I pronounced that wrong. So Samai, the leading African, the leading jumper in this men's long jump, 8 meters and 16. Jeff Henderson, no jump in his 3rd round. He's currently in 2nd for the Americas with 7 meters and 98. So it'll be interesting to see here, because Samai is in the lead with 8 meters and 16. Henderson in 2nd with 7 meters and 98 for the Americas. There was a quick shot there of the legendary moustache of Henry Frayne, the Australian. He's in 3rd with his 2nd round jump of 7 meters and 96. And there's your standings. Just to finish off my sentence, Frayne, Samai, Henderson, Nikiforov, the 4 leading contenders. They won the duo battle for their continent. They'll go into round 4. We need the best 2 athletes, a clean scorecard. It's all about this jump to get into the final 2.
Easy to forget Henderson's the reigning Olympic champion. It's been a tough couple of years for him really since then, Catherine. And now He's got unbelievable coming. Echevarria, who's been injured lately, but he's jumped, what was that, a slightly windy 883 or something? It was absolutely huge on the Diamond League circuit, and Manyonga's regularly going over 840, 850. Really, really good times for men's long jump at the moment.
Look at all the titles that they have. As you say, the Rio Olympic champion, Jeff Henderson, coached by Al Joyner in San Diego, that legendary name in track and field. European champion, Olympic champion, World Championship bronze medalist. Good caliber, as we'd expect here in the Continental Cup, getting through into this fourth round. Henry Frayne, then the Australia, Asia Pacific. World Indoor silver back in 2012, Commonwealth silver earlier this season. Let's go, come on, is the roar from the 28-year-old. We need the best 2 jumps of this fourth round to progress to round 5. He's an 8-meter 34 jumper this season. He hasn't gone over 8 meters today, and that's going to be close. But as we've seen in previous field events so far, Rob, you've got to perform when it matters. He might think, I'm a bit disappointed there on Pony Pepper in the 790, 795. But if somebody no jumps, or somebody no throws, then you're elevated into a position that could get you into that magical 5th round.
Giving away miles on the board, not far off, 30 centimetres. I think he's realising that he'd be lucky to go through with that. He's had a funny old card, but you never know, because if 2 of the remaining 4 produce no jumps, he will be coming back for what we're calling the final one last jump for the win.
So the European champion, Tentoglu of Greece. 20 years old, the European champion. Looking to get into the top 2 here, looking to surpass 7 meters and 89. Good speed. Well, he's once again with the camera angle looking around that 8-meter line. 8:25 this season. Just shy of his lifetime best last year of 8 meters and 30. 6 at the Birmingham Diamond League. Used to be a free runner. You know those, Rob, that run around jumping from buildings to buildings. Now a very good long jumper and the European champion. 8 meters exactly has come through. So far, Tentoglu and Frayne occupy the round 5 positions.
Yeah, just the big guns of Samai and Henderson still to go, and Henderson's face looks a picture of concentration. The reigning Olympic champion yet to go over 8 meters in this competition.
Well, Henry Frayne is in second with 7 meters and 89. He needs to surpass that. 4th here at the Golden Spike meeting this season. He knows the track. Ooh, I think he's going to struggle. Because of the angle in our commentary position, it's a little bit hard to see, but he didn't look far enough advanced towards the 8-meter line, potentially, than Henry Frayne, the Australian.
Especially when you bear in mind we've still got Samai left to jump. So the Olympic champion may well find himself shy of an opportunity to contest the final.
7 meters and 90. 1 centimeter past Henry Frayne. He's in the 2nd position. Tentoglu and Henderson.
But with Samai still to go.
That was my dramatic pause, Rob.
Oh, sorry.
Could be denied.
Just getting carried away.
By this man, the smile of Rashwell Samai. He's got to surpass 7 meters and 90 of that of the Olympic champion, Jeff Henderson. He's done it so many times this season. But he needs it to get into the last round. Pace, technique. Oh, and he gets the white flag. He gets the white flag. It looks the furthest of the 4 so far to our naked eye.
I agree. Pretty good on the board. He's been really exciting to watch, as he said, along with Manyonga and Echevarria. He's been so consistent when it comes to the major championship as well, on the podium last year, podium twice at the Commonwealth Games. That looks as though it is the best jump. And there's a confirmation. 8:09, Samai and Tentoglu will battle it out to finish number 1.
8 meters for Tentoglu, 8 meters and 9 for Samai. Europe versus Africa. A clean scorecard, the furthest jumper wins.
And it feels, Catherine, as though there really has been a changing of the guard in men's long jump this year, with Great Britain's 2012 Olympic champion and former world champion Greg Rutherford retiring. And once again, we're getting up to really exciting jumps in terms of distance with Echevarria, with Samai, with Manyonga, and the likes of Tentoglu, the 20-year-old former free jumper. He's made a good transition to athletics. It's a great time for this event. I think it's one that could be very, very exciting to watch over the next couple of years. Maybe Powell's world record on the line, perhaps.
Oh, most definitely. When you see the likes of Juan Miguel Echevarria jumping nearly out of pits. He has the talent, he has the ability. And there's lots of athletes dotting around at the moment, as you say, Rob, into that 860, 850. So, this is for the win. One final jump. And here this Tentoglu for Europe, the European champion, asking the crowd for their support. His nickname is Bounce Man. Bounce Man has one jump. One of the longest run-ups in this men's long jump competition. What can he post to make Samai chase? Well, he's consistent today, isn't he, Tentoglu? That looks around the same mark, round 3:7.95, round 4, 8 meters. It looks very similar for the Greek athlete. Samai's gone over 8 meters 3 times already in this competition. The South African's going to have to do it when it matters. 7 meters and 92's come through for Tentoglu. That is the distance that the world bronze medalist in London last year now has to chase.
It's so interesting because on paper, of course, Samai is the favourite, but he has to deliver it in this particular jump. He's only got that one chance.
Exactly, and it's not like Samai's been popping out some 820s, 830s here. It's very close. 805 in the first round, 816 in round 2, a no jump, and then 809 in round 4. He's chasing 7 meters and 92. He jumped 8 meters and 42 in London on the 22nd of July, the South African. If he wants good points for his African team, he's going to have to deliver potentially his final jump of what's been a wonderful 2018 season. This is the athlete closure, well, for many here in Ostrava. They have a little bit of a break, a deserved break, after this competition.
Oh, they'll need it, you know, after World Indoors back in March, the Com Games outdoors early April, and all the way through to the middle of September. And there's a very, very long season coming next year, with the World Champs not starting till something like the 28th of September. Here he goes.
He's got to pass 7 meters and 92. Oh, he's going to be close on the board here. He gets the white flag.
Never in doubt, Catherine, never in doubt. The showman has delivered again. Never in doubt.
Well, displaying South African long jumping strength, 8 meters and 10, an 18-centimeter victory for the 2-time Commonwealth medalist. Look at the height, the speed generates the height. He veers to the left, but he lands. And he takes maximum points for Team Africa. Tentoglu picks up points for Europe in second with his 8-meter jump. And Henderson for the Americas in third with 7 meters and 90. I'm just looking at the results to see where his counterpart African athlete was. Bareba, well, he finishes in 8th with 7 meters and 63. There you go, right on cue Samai, Tentoglu and Henderson. Points for Africa, Europe and the Americas. But don't forget, we add the 2 athletes' points together to get the 8-6-4-2 point system that we need.
I'm really pleased for Samai. Great end to the season and a nice way for him to step out of the shadow of his good friend Luvo Manyonga, who wasn't here for South Africa and the African continent. Samai was, and he delivered exactly when he needed to. Well, that's interesting. We had all the nations sharing first place there, if I did the maths correctly, so they all got 5 points. But Samai was the man with the best jump.
Well, here in
day.
Captain's Corner, I can tell you the sun is certainly shining. But who is bathing? Which team is being victorious so far? Neza, can I ask you, what has been your highlight today?
Yes, for me in 100 meters women.
Great result. Africa won that. A great result for you there. Jana?
I think for the performance for today for me is obviously Abdurrahman Samba. Incredible 400-metre hurdles. The 400 women's was amazing as well, but I still go back to my boys in the high jump.
Colin, have you still got your calculator out because you are beavering away there? Who's winning?
I'm always looking at the results here, and we're doing all right. So, you know, the long jump was a good result for us as well, so we're looking okay, but for me, my performance has to be Hassan in the women's 3,000 metres. Personal best, championship record, incredible performance.
Colin, these jokers are all important. When you play them, what event, what your rivals are doing in contrast. Are you happy with that, what your choice is?
So far, so good, because we've managed to have that victory, split victory, which means we get 14 points, so I'm happy with that right now.
Mike, are you a happy man? You are very relaxed today. In contrast, Colin is stressing out over there. You seem quite chilled out with Team Americas.
Well, you know, the good thing, Colin is trying really hard over there, but he's not running, so I'm not worried about him. But both our jokers went through today, so we're doing pretty well.
Mike, well, I can tell you at the moment you have a 6-point lead over Team Europe. So, look, Colin's puffing his chest out over there. What have you got to say to him?
It's just the beginning, baby.
I will tell.
It's just the beginning.
I love Mike Powell's laugh. It's straight off the Michael Jackson Thriller video, I think. There's a little bit of evil and a little bit of cheek in there. But it's getting tight at the top, Catherine.
It is indeed. You heard infield host Ewan Thomas saying to Big Mike Powell, it's only a few points. 4th Africa, 58. Asia Pacific, 67. 20 points ahead of Europe. And there is that 6-point lead that the Americas have. Talking of the Americas, Sandy Morris in the women's pole vault. 4 meters and 70, it's a 3rd attempt. Well, she gave it a rattle, but the world indoor champion stays alive in this women's pole vault. A 3rd time clearance of 4 meters and 70. She'd had a clear scorecard. She entered at 4 meters and 45, went over that. Then the 10-center increment started, 55, 65 over. But Sandy Morris for Americas, look at that, she clapped it with her left quadricep, but it stayed on, and she stays alive in this women's pole vault competition, equaling the championship record. It's one of those championship records we thought that might go today. Svetlana Feofanova, 4 meters and 70 back in 2010. Sandy Morris has just equaled it. So also in the field, we're starting with the women's discus throw. 8 athletes and familiar names: Muller, Perkovic, Stevens, Dimoras for the Americas as well. The top 4 in the world are here. And this is a strong pairing. Nadine Muller on the left, Sandra Perkovic on the right. Team Europe, European champion, double Olympic champion, double world champion Perkovic. And Nadine Muller, of course, world silver back in 2011, European silver in Berlin. So Team Americas, Andressa Dimores and Yemi Perez representing for them. Perez, the world number 3 on the right. She's the new Diamond League champion. Perkovic dethroned in the Diamond League status. Team Africa. Senecal, Onyekwere. Ishka Senecal, the South African, just over 55 metres this year. And then Team Asia Pacific playing their joker in this women's discus. Yang Chen and Danny Stevens, world champion Danny Stevens back in 2009, the Commonwealth champion this season. A familiar face in the Continental Cup is the Australian. Asia Pacific have a good team, but the European team, well, this is one major event not yet won by Sandra Perkovic. She's kind of doing a steeplechase event earlier, but never had a winner in it, and we cross across to the women's pole vault straight away. That's good for Europe.
Great clearance there, yes. You were talking about Conceslas Kipruto there, who'd won everything apart from the Continental Cup, and Perkovic will be hoping to add this to her growing collection of titles. And as we watch a fine clearance by Sidorova, and I think Perkovic will feel as though she's got a point to prove after finishing third in the Diamond League and losing out after dominating the sport the whole season.
Yeah, she wasn't happy, Perkovic. Well, that was a championship record there, 475 for Sidorova for Europe. So, Katerina Stefanidi. This is her third attempt at 4 meters and 75. Here she goes, the clock ticks down for the European. Oh yes. Well, so far, a couple of times today, we've seen the class of athletes pulling out performances when it matters.
And she really needed that, Catherine, because she'd opted to not try and clear 470. Remember, she only came into the competition at 465, so living a little bit dangerously. She's only had 4 vaults and needed those 3 efforts to get over 475, but she's so consistent, Stefanidi. When she gets it right, she's very, very good to watch.
It's a smart move as well with Morris over 470.
Now, 3 finals left on the track. This is the last of the individual races today. The men's 800 metres. What a great race this is in prospect. Nigel Amos, 3 times the African champion. Jinson Johnson's just won the Asian Games crown. But what about this for a team lineup? Nigel Amos, the Olympic silver medalist, he's on the right of picture. Emmanuel Correa is a 44.21 400 metre runner, and he's now one of the fastest men in the world, 6th in history with 1:42.05, winning the London Diamond League. That was the fastest time for 800 metres for 8 years. Correa and Amos should dominate this race. The magnificently named Jinson Johnson is just a name you love saying as a commentator. He took gold in the Asian Games, man on the left there in the 1500 metres, really good tactical runner. Jamal Harain, Asian Championship silver medalist last year for Qatar. Michael Rosens, 4th in the Europeans, unlucky perhaps not to get a medal in that one, with Andreas Kramer, European under-23 champion last year. Kramer loves front running. I wonder whether he'll get a chance with Correa and Amos in the race. Clayton Murphy on the left for the Americas, bronze medalist in Rio, and Wesley Vasquez, 4th in the World Juniors a few years ago, national record holder, 1:44.6. There's the trophy. The Americas lead, but the Europeans are slowly catching. Meanwhile, Sandy Morris, what a fine year it's been for her in pole vault. Can she join the others, clearing 475? Oh, yes, she can. There's a little wobble, but she loves it. We've seen some great battles between her and Stefanidi this season, Catherine. With, men's pole vaulting is going brilliantly with Mondo Duplantis taking the European title 6:05 and dominating on the Diamond League, putting Bellini under pressure, but women's pole vaulting is equally as strong this season, I think.
Well, it has been. It's been a fascinating event on the Diamond League, and good battles had throughout the season between Morris and Stefanidi. Another athlete that's equalled the championship record, second time clearance at 4.75. The next height will be 4 meters and 80.
Right, here we go then, with this men's 800 meters. Emmanuel Correa is the fastest man in the world this year. This is Wesley Vasquez, not too far away from the podium in the World Juniors 6 years ago. Really intriguing to see how fast this will be, actually. We've got the quickest 3 in the world this year going in this race. There's Andreas Kramer, semi-finalist in the World Champs, loves to front run. Harain, Asian Championship silver medalist. Here's arguably the favourite, Emmanuel Correa, 6th fastest in history. Clayton Murphy, Olympic bronze medalist. Michael Rosens for Poland, 23 years of age. Jensen Johnson, the Asian Games champion over 1,500 metres. And for a little while, the forgotten man, but the Botswanan, Nigel Amos, is back. World Junior champion, former Commonwealth champion, won Monaco, 1:42.14 this season. The men's 800 metres, I think we could see some fireworks fly here. This could be very, very fast. So watch for the 2 men in yellow. Nigel Amos coming storming round on the inside, determined not to get boxed. No big move yet from Emmanuel Correa, who, by the way, talking about the other man in yellow in the centre of your picture, one of only 3 men to run 44 seconds for 400 and 1:43 for 8. Everett, the American, and the legendary Alberto Quantarina is the other one. And Andreas Kramer, as expected, the Swede, has gone to the front for Europe.
Yeah, pretty swift. 24 seconds over the first 200 metres. Correa and Amos head-to-head. It's Correa that's leading it 2 wins to 1. But you can throw a blanket over them at the moment as they come round on this first lap of this 800 metres. Europe leading the way. But there's Correa in second in the yellow vest for Africa.
They take the bell in the men's 800 metres. The 3 quickest men in the world this year are here, 53 plus change. After the first 400 metres, watch out for the American Clayton Murphy, who can run some very, very good tactical races. It's Correa in the all-in-one Lycra outfit. Nigel Amos, the other African, is boxed in at the moment, and he's got some problems. If he's going to get out, he'll have to use the elbows. Murphy onto the shoulder of Correa. Now Amos trying to come wide on the outside. Correa looks comfortable here. Kramer's beginning to rock and roll a little bit in 4th place. Correa and Murphy and Amos, the 3 star men this year. And look at Nigel Amos. He's grimacing, he's pushing. It's very, very tight. Correa manages to find another gear. Correa from Clayton Murphy, and I think Amos just finished in 3rd. It was very tactical in the end. That was a very intriguing race because it looked as though Correa was running out of steam with Amos coming wide on the outside, but somehow in an untidy looking race Correa did manage to find another gear in the last 20 metres.
Well, he was put under pressure, wasn't he, from his Africa teammate, but Correa 1:46.50. He was there in London at the Diamond League when he ran the world's quickest time since 2010, as you mentioned, Rob. That 1:42.05 was very, very special indeed. You can see here under pressure, though, the ungainly style of Amos on his outside. Murphy trying to separate the 2 African athletes. Good points there for Africa in terms of 1st and 2nd place. Correa been given the victory in 1:42.05, and I'm just looking for confirmation of that result.
Yeah, Murphy did indeed get the 2nd spot. I thought he might have just edged Amos. I didn't realise how close it was. It came down to thousandths of a second.
Oh.
So 1st and 3rd for Africa there. Clayton Murphy coming 2nd. There you go, confirmation. 3 1/1000ths of a second between Murphy in 2nd and Amos in 3rd. Now, Michael Haratic lying in 6th place at the moment. He would have expected better.
With that, you still have one more attempt remaining here at 4 meters 85.
European champion, 26 years of age.
With 3 attempts to come.
Leading at the moment is Romani with his effort in the second round of 21.89. Shaking ahead there from the man who was 5th in the London World Championships last year. Fine edition of the Worlds. It was hard to believe that was 5 years on since the Olympics in London, and now we're 6 away from that great couple of weeks. So Romani leads with 21.89 in the second round. Stanek's in second place, 21.22. That was also in the second round for Europe. And see if Haratic has improved. I think he has. He's just watching and waiting. Remember, only the leading contender from each continent will get a further 4 throws. 21.36, that's better. He moves up into second place.
He overtakes his teammate by 14 centimetres to be the leading European. See why he's a bit frustrated though, Rob. He's a 22.08 thrower this year, the new European champion. That was a lot better, as you say. There's the scorecard so far.
So the names in, I don't know what you'd call that colour, sort of lime green? I'm not too good on the colours. Anyway, they're the men who'll be coming back for what we're calling the semi-finals, the leading contenders from each of the continents. Tom Walsh, though, only 20.82, just getting himself in the mix, but the reigning world champion, indoors and out, has an opportunity to round off a sensational season. World champion against European champion, against African champion, against South American record holder. 4 big men. Probably the surprise there is that Ryan Krauser didn't finish as the top performer from the Americas, but Romani, the Brazilian, is a quality performer, and here he is. 5th 2 years ago in the Olympic Games. How about that for consistency? 21.24, in fact 21.89 and 21.29. So all those efforts are now irrelevant. It's about what he does in this specific event. Very consistent, around about 21 metres. If he's in the top 2, he'll come back for what we're calling the final in this Continental Cup, where 2 men will have a single throw to come out on top for their continents. Good performance from Romani in Rio. 1 or 2 Brazilians were absolutely inspired, no more so than Thiago Braz da Silva, who won that pole vault, beating Renaud Lavillenie. And the Brazilian looks as though he's in the mood for a competition here today, but shakes his head. 21.07, that's the worst of his 4 efforts, but he is over 21 metres in all. Gigantic shoulders for Enekwechi, the African champion. He is American, but his dad is Nigerian. Now, he put his foot on the top there, so his competition comes to an end there. So there'll be no last throw for the African continent. Opted to compete for Nigeria last year. His shoulders are absolutely huge.
Stop being jealous, Rob. He's just not built like that.
Shoulders are probably bigger than my thighs. Tom Walsh. Now, we would expect far more from Walshy. 22.60, winning the Diamond League. Yeah, that's more like it, but it's still not quite the fireworks we've come to expect from this charismatic New Zealander this season.
Wow, the lead at the moment in this 4th round is Romani's 21.07. And remember, we've still got Haratic to come, who's done 21.36. I know it doesn't count in the 4th round, but that's the kind of form he's in at the moment. So Walsh is looking on reasonably nervously here, in to see what distance he's put out. 21 metres exactly. So he's second behind Romani, which means Haratic has the chance to depose of Tom Walsh and potentially get himself in that 5th round.
He does. If he's 21 metres on the nose, he will go past Tom Walsh by virtue of his second best throw being better. Here we go. Needs better or equal to 21 metres. This would deny Tom Walsh a chance to go for the individual one. Oh, it's close, but I think perhaps Tom Walsh may just be coming back to take on Romani, so it'll be the Americas against Asia Pacific, with the South American record holder Romani up against the reigning world indoor and outdoor champion Tom Walsh. That's close, but I don't think it's 21 meters. Tom Walsh is keeping a close eye on this. It's taking a little while for this measurement to come up. 20.77, so his competition ends. It's Walsh or Romani to come out on top.
Well, and Walsh on season form is about 70 centimetres ahead of Romani. But that doesn't mean a thing in this Continental Cup format. 5th round, 1 throw apiece. The South American record holder against last year's world champion and the world indoor champion from Birmingham. You wouldn't put it past Tom Walsh to pull out a big one here. But all he'll want is the victory and the points for his team.
But here goes the Brazilian, Darlan Romani. Every throw over 21 meters. They all count for nothing here, assuming they both register a valid throw. Here we go. Yes, that's huge. Oh, what a throw from the big dog. Right when it counts. That is massive. Walsh has got problems here.
Well, his season's best is 21.95, which is a lifetime best this season for Darlan Romani. The South American record holder's pulled one out here, hasn't he?
That was massive, Catherine. We're all watching and waiting. 21.68. That is a fine, fine throw. Not far off his season's best and not far off the South American record. Tom Walsh needs a very big throw here, in contrast to what he's done so far this afternoon.
His season's best is 1 centimetre shy of a metre further than Romani's just thrown. But he's got to do it now to get the points, get the win.
Has the pressure motivated Tom Walsh? It's a good effort, but it's not big enough to take the lead, and he knows it. What a throw there from Darlan Romani for the Americas. Mike Powell will be chuckling to himself with that comedy laugh wherever he's watching this. I don't know whether he's still in that big armchair.
Yes, he is, in the captain's lounge.
He'll be loving that. He'll be loving that.
Well, he's awaiting the distance, but he knows it's probably going to be just shy. It's not come through on the system yet. Didn't look like it was as far as the 21 metres and 68 from Darlan Romani. Now 21 metres and 43, just a little bit shy. Asia Pacific finished second behind the Americas and Darlan Romani with this throw at 21 metres and 68.
Very good throw from Darlan Romani, when we might have been expecting Ryan Krauser to be the America's top performer. The Brazilian has done a job for the continent.
His teammate Krauser, you mentioned, Rob, down in 5th. So he'll pick up points for Team Americas. And it was that man who got given the massive, lovely-looking sunflower, given to all the victors here. And as Rob mentioned previously, $30,000 up for grabs for the winners here, all the way down to $1,000 for an 8th place finish. That individual prize money, separate from the team competition, as they're battling for the Continental Cup trophy. Sidorova then, in the women's pole vaults. This is a big vault, this is 4 metres and 85. She passed her second attempt at 4 metres and 80, and you heard the squeal from Sidorova. A second time clearance at 4 metres and 85. The European vaulter over 4 metres and 85. She failed the first attempt at 480, decided to pass her second attempt at that height. And pops over 4 metres and 85. The championship record, as we predicted, is getting smashed to pieces here in this women's pole vault competition. Sidorova equals her lifetime best to stay in the competition. Stefanidi. Looking to continue. A squeal at exactly the same time as Sidorova for the World Olympic European champion. The 28-year-old in wonderful form again this season. Keeps the hopes alive for Europe. Along with Sidorova. A nice clearance that from Katerina Stefanidi. Her second attempt at 485 was successful. In second place as it stands in the women's pole vault competition. So to conclude the first day of action here at this Continental Cup, 2 4x100 meter relays, and it's the turn of the women first. 4 teams, 8, 6, 4 and 2 points up for grabs. So in lane number 3 will start the Asia Pacific team, Kong Wei Ji Yuan. Starting outside the Asia Pacific team in lane number 4, the European team, Awua, Lansiquo, Williams and Asher Smith. A British lineup representing Europe and a very impressive one as well. They'll start in lane number 4. Then the Americas, Tenorio, Miller-Weibo, Plandini and Rosa. The Americas team will line up in lane number 5, and then in lane number 6, the team from Africa, Amponza, Okabare, Amusam and Talu. That is a very good team, with a little bit of a jig as well on the entrance for this women's 4x100 meter relay. There's that beautiful Czech handmade crystal glass trophy. Each athlete, incidentally, in the winning team, given a baton from that trophy to take away with them. So the women's 4x100 meter relay, the penultimate event on this first day. And strong sprinting representation. Europe in lane 4 with Asher Smith. And we pop back to the pole vault. Katerina Stefanidi. So the bar has now been raised to 4 meters and 90. And once again, it's a battle between Stefanidi and Morris and Sidorova. She's in second place as it stands at the moment, Stefanidi. She took 3 attempts to get over 4 meters and 75. A couple of attempts to get over 485. Would be a season's best for Stefanidi. That stands currently at 4 meters and 87. The clock is ticking down. The Diamond League winner again this season. First attempt at 4 meters and 90. Not to be. So she'll come back if she chooses at that height, of course, dependent on what the other athletes
Well, here
do
at Captain's Corner, it's getting tense. It's time for the relays. Neza, did you enjoy a relay as an athlete?
Oui, le relais, c'est une belle épreuve. C'est une épreuve qu'on apprend à travailler avec le groupe. C'est le symbole de l'esprit d'équipe.
Lucky I'm fluent in French. Basically, she said it's an individual sport, but you like working as a group with a relay. But Jana, it's an interesting dynamic, isn't it? Because all of a sudden, yes, athletics is individual. Today is all about team, but this is really about teamwork.
That's what's so great about this competition, is that we get to join with often our rivals in one stadium together under one team. So it really is fantastic.
And Colin, it's all about getting that baton round safely. Hopefully they won't hear me say this, but normally a quartet is used to running with the same people, but now, obviously, Team Europe, you might have a different team to what you're used to.
You always have a little bit of a mix and match, so all these women are more than capable of exchanging the baton, so I'm still thinking it'll be a close race.
And quickly, Mike, just in general, how much do you miss being out there? How much do you miss performing?
Well, right now, I couldn't do much out there, so I don't miss it very much. It's fun to watch these guys run.
Well, we're going to go back to the pole vault because Sandy is about to attempt.
So the pole vault does continue before that women's 4x100 meter relay. 4 meters and 90. First attempt then for Sandy Morris. The season's best is 4 meters and 95. Second in the Zurich Diamond League. Finishing second there behind Stefanidi. Recently got engaged just in the last few days. So for Team Americas, Sandy Morris.
They've both been so consistent, Catherine, on the circuit and in the last couple of years. Morris, a silver medalist in Rio and London, world indoor champion. They've both of them proven time and time again that they have what it takes when the pressure's on. And the pressure is on for both of them now.
So Morris, first attempt at 4 meters and 90. It's a height that she has been over this season. Stefanidi hasn't, so the psychological advantage is with Morris, having gone over 4 meters and 95. But it's the here and now and the points that she wants for Team Americas. First attempt then at 4 meters and 90. The clock ticks down. It looked for a second as if it was going to stay on.
That was so close, wasn't it? She had a little tickle, and for a split second, yeah, we thought she'd done it, but not to be.
Well, 2 more attempts at this height if she wants it. But back on the track, we saw the athletes introduced and the teams introduced for the women's 4x100 metre relay. The world lead by Great Britain, Northern Ireland, 41.88 seconds. And the European team do have that familiarity. The infield host, Ewan Thomas, was talking about the British team for Europe in 4. There's Africa in 6. Marie-José Talu on the final leg. America's in lane number 5.
In lane 4,
Angela
Team
Tenorio
Europe.
on the first leg for them. And then the Europe team in 4, that's Crystal Awua, the British athlete, Lansiko Williams and Asher Smith on the final leg. And in lane 3, Asia Pacific, Ling Wei Kong leading them off with Wei Ji and Yuan. So Asia Pacific in 3, Europe in 4, Americas in 5, and Africa in 6. The final female track action of this first day in the Continental Cup. 8 points up for grabs for the winning continent. So Europe represented in lane 4 by a British team. Tenorio of the Americas going well in lane number 5. And it is the Americas in lane number 5 going well. Down the back straight, Shawnee Miller-Weibo, the 400-metre start for the Americas going well, as is the British athlete Lansiko for Europe in lane number 4. It's pretty even round the top bend in this women's 4x100 metres. Bianca Williams, the British athlete, on the third leg for Europe. Prandini running well for the Americas. Rosa on the last leg in lane number 5 for the Americas team. Asher Smith for Europe in lane number 4. But taking the victory in the women's 4x1 relay, 42.12 seconds. Victoria Cristina Rosa brings home the Americas in lane number 5. The baton's picked up off the track by an official for the Africa team in lane number 6. But Rosa with the big smile, and 8 points for the Americas. That'll please team captain Mike Powell in the final female action. And it was a good team. Tenorio, Miller-Weibo, Prandini, who ran a great top bend, and Rosa on the final leg bring the big points home for Americas.
Good run there. Miller-Weibo ran beautifully down the back straight. We would have expected that. She's in sensational form, and Prandini was great round the bend. There's Rosa.
And there was a mistake there. Amusan and Talu, equal world leader Talu, never got to run down the home straight. But Rosa kept her form. Dina Asher-Smith, the British athlete, now her season has finished, bringing home Europe in second place, and in lane number 3, Asia Pacific in third.
Miller-Weibo on the second leg, Prandini on the third, and with no pressure coming from Talu on her outside, Rosa was home and clear for the Americas. Asher Smith unable to finish her season in the style with which she's swept across Europe and the global stage over the last couple of months. The European team coming home second.
The tall figure on your right there, Miller-Weibo, one of those wonderful combination sprinters, especially over the 200 and 400 metres. Beautiful to watch, as was that win by the Americas. Fair play, they got the baton round. Athletes from different countries coming together to get 8 points for the Americas team. And on the track, there's just the men's 4x100 metre relay to come, just before 6 o'clock local time. But in the field, well, that action continues, and this is the women's discus, and that's Danny Stevens entering the circle. Remember, Asia Pacific are playing a joker in this event. It's the third throw, 62 metres and 74 in round number 2. The teammate Chen is currently in third, so a little bit of a battle here to see who represents Asia Pacific in round number 4. Well, it's around about the 61-62 metre line for Stevens. The same coach, Dennis Knowles, since the age of 10. Been married a couple of years now to former junior international shot putter Joe. She waits to see her distance. Well, 61 metres and 72, it's not an improvement. She's 5th overall. And Chen, her Asia Pacific teammate, could potentially be knocking on the door here to be the athlete that represents them in round 4. Perkovic, incidentally, 68 metres and 44 in the first round. So here we go then, confirmation of those representing their continents in the 4th round. Perkovic, 68.44, Perez, 65 metres, Onyekuere, 56 metres and 68, and indeed Chen, 63 metres and 34 in the 3rd round, will represent Asia Pacific in this 4th round. So the athletes being explained to. And at the other end of the Metski Stadium, Sandy Morris is poised in this women's pole vault competition, coming for her 2nd attempt at 4 metres and 90.
She has gone higher than any other woman so far this year, 4.95. That was at the end of July, back home in America. Needed 2 at 4.70. Sorry, needed 3 at 4.70. Needed 2 at 4.75. Needed 2 at 4.85. Just Sidorova, Stefanidi and Morris left in it. Can the American deliver here when the pressure is on? All eyes on her. No, not as close as her previous effort where it wobbled and looked like it was going to stay on. One last chance for her.
And in the discus, into round number 4 then. Chen, Asia Pacific. The joker's been played. All distances previously have been white. It's about this 4th round throw. We need the top 2 for round 5. Well, she's approaching the 65 metre line. Her best was in round 3 with that 63 metres and 34. She's a 67 metre thrower this season. On the Asian Games, 7th at the Olympics in Rio a couple of seasons ago. .61 metres and 63, so that is the distance that the other 3 athletes are now chasing. So a little way down on her personal best and season's best. Sandra Perkovic then of Europe, the Croatian star, desperately disappointed not to win another Diamond League title. Said she wasn't very well going into that Diamond League title. Don't think she was particularly happy about it being a one-off winner-takes-all situation. Looking to surpass 61 metres and 63. Her best today, 68.44. Well, and that's clearly once again over the 65 metre line. But there you go, she says. Not particularly happy, but at this moment in time, she's got to get herself in the top 2 to get that 5th round throw. It'll
be interesting to see what motivation she takes from that defeat in the Diamond League, because earlier this season, Catherine, you started to wonder how does she sustain her motivation, beating everybody so clearly. But now she has that little bit of fire in her belly after missing out on the Diamond League title.
65 metres and 57 then. She goes into pole position in this 4th round. I think with Sandra Perkovic, she could give a reason why she didn't win the Diamond League final, saying that she hadn't been ill. Hence, she wasn't very happy at being 3rd and therefore not the Diamond League champion. She's a very self-motivated woman, is Sandra Perkovic. And I know she feels she's got a lot more to give. So, Perez then. Perkovic leads 65.57. Chen in 2nd, 61 metres and 63. The Cuban, 65 metres exactly in round 2. That would get her through into the final flurry. Well, it's just below the 65-metre line, so if she's given the white flag, she will surpass Yang Chen, 61 metres and 63. The speed, the whip of the arm. So close, that Brussels Diamond League final, in terms of distance. 64 metres and 1. The Diamond League winner goes into 2nd place with Perkovic. So only Okunwari of Nigeria can upset the party. And when you look at her record, with the greatest of respect, she's got to get past the 64-metre line, which she's never done in her life, with a personal best just over 58 metres. Red flag. So we have our 2 finalists in the women's discus throw, the familiar names of Perkovic and Perez, will once again do battle. The head-to-head, Rob, that many hope for, because I mentioned Perez won the Brussels Diamond League with 65 metres, Perkovic 3rd in 64.31. Let's see, say, the disappointment for Perkovic now. She's going to want to show Perez a thing or two here in this final round.
I think this is Perkovic's to lose, because she will want to remind everybody that over the course of the entire season, she has without doubt been the woman to beat. You can argue slightly unfair to put it all down to one event, but those are the rules. And it was the South American who came out on top. But here she goes, Perkovic. She's surely going to give us the finale to the season that she should have done in the Diamond League climax.
Well, that was the viewpoint that she expressed, but at this moment in time, Sandra Perkovic has 1 throw to win the Continental Cup. Remember, the major event she's not yet to win. Is this her time? 1 throw. Perkovic versus Perez. Gotta love a head-to-head in athletics. We've got one in this women's discus. Oh! The red flag, though, I can see out the corner of my eye, has been raised. Perkovic gave that absolutely everything. The implement flew past the 65-metre line. Let's take a look. Yeah, you saw the tip of her toe on her right foot, just making contact. So, a no throw for Perkovic, which means Perez just has to land the distance in this 5th round to take maximum points for her America's team.
Yes, the only way Perez doesn't win is if she also has a no throw, because then it would go back to what they did in the 4th round, which we're calling the semi-final. So it just needs to be a clean distance and a clean throw.
Perkovic's 4th round throw, 65.57. Perez 64.01. If she nails it with a white flag, it's going to be conservative, but it still goes over 65 metres. And for the 2nd time at the back end of this 2018 season, it's Yami Perez of Cuba that's took the wind out the sails of the Croatian.
She has, although am I right in thinking that because of the distance. In terms of the competition, the fourth round is an irrelevance, but in prize money, I think she might have come out on top. So there is some consolation for Perkovic at the end of the season, financial rather than the victory here.
As an athlete, I'll tell you which one I'd rather have. Genuinely would be the psychological victory at the end of the year over my rival. But a good women's discus throw, as is this women's pole vault. 4 meters and 90, Sandy Morris, her final attempt. Took 2 attempts to get over 4 meters and 85. Nobody over 4 meters and 90, and Sandy Morris isn't today here in Ostrava. She thanks the crowd for their support. The second attempt at 4 meters and 85 is what all the athletes left in had. Sidorova, Stefanidi and Morris. She finishes in third, the American. Stefanidi, with her second time clearance at 4 meters and 85, finishes in second. But Europe take the victory as well as the second place. Sidorova, with her second time clearance at 4 meters and 85, takes the victory here, because all 3 athletes that were left failed at 4 meters and 90. So a good point scoring event that for Europe, that women's pole vault. Sidorova, championship record, which was equal by the other 2 vaulters, picks up the maximum points. But the Americas with Perez pick up 8 points in the women's discus throw, 65 meters and 30. And as Rob said, yes, it was down on distance from Sandra Perkovic's 68 meters and 44, but it's the final round effort that counts. But she will pick up $30,000 for the victory, as you mentioned, Rob, compared to $15,000 for second.
And the Americas taking that one. So 8 points for them, and it's getting tight between the Americas and Europe at the top of the leaderboard. Early on this afternoon, we had a huge lead for the Americas. It's gained some momentum again a little bit after that victory in the women's 4x1, but Europe's still in touch, and we still have the men's 4x1 to come.
Confirmation then, Europe 1-2 in the women's pole vault. Sidorova and Stefanidi 3 times now, or 3 names should I say, that are added to the championship record, surpassing that of Fia Farnova's 2010 height of 4 meters and 70 in split. And as Rob mentioned, the final action on the track will be that men's 4x100 meter relay. We've just been given the teams, and Americas could be onto a good one here in this final event on the first day, before we come back and do it all again tomorrow, before we award the Continental Cup trophy. We've had a quick glance at it a couple of times today, haven't we, Rob? 110 crystal batons created in the oval of the stadium, and each athlete of the winning continent gets to take one home.
They do. There's a confirmation, the Americas clear victors in that 4x1. The British team unable to bring Europe home, and the Africans were disqualified, didn't get the baton round. Here we go, the last action in what's been a whistle-stop session of track and field, the men's 4x1. Only 4 teams, only 4 continents. Asia Pacific on the inside in 3, Europe, Americas and Africa on the outside. The Africans will be anchored home by Simbine, the Commonwealth 100 meter champion. That was a while ago now, wasn't it? There's the Asia Pacific quartet. Jake Duran goes anchor for them. And Joseph Miller, he's been a busy boy, 200 metres, discus, finishing off with the 4x1. Jack Ali Harvey's on the second leg, he's on the left there, and he's just asking the crowd to respond. And Guliev on the right, finished in second place in the 200 metres, looked a little bit tired. What a quartet this is. Noah Lyles on second leg, Rogers, the veteran, goes lead leg for them, Johan Blake third, and Taekwondo Tracy anchors the Americas team home. And the Africans look like they're up for this. and they've got a Carney Simbine on the anchor leg for them. There's the IAAF Continental Cup trophy. Renaud Lavillenie, the legendary pole vaulter, picked it up
it is very close
in the photo
between
call
Team
yesterday, and he was
Europe
told to put them
and
down.
Team
Here we go,
Americas.
back with you
I'll
and
start
Thomas.
Mike. Now, traditionally 4x1, the Americas are very strong. You could do with winning this, couldn't you?
Well, you know, we got to get the stick around. If we get the stick around, we'll be okay.
It's all about safety. Now Colin, do Team Europe risk? Because obviously we don't want to wind him up, but Great Britain, they won the Olympics in 2004. America thought they were going to win. Obviously, it's a combined team now. Team Europe, are you strong?
No, we are strong. We are motivated. We want to go into tomorrow as close to Americas as we possibly can. In the lead would be even better. So if there's a couple of mistakes in the relay for the Americans and they finish right at the back, I won't be crying.
Will you be crying if Europe beat you in this 4x1? Because at the moment, I think you've got a 10-point lead. That's not much.
No, we're going to get the stick around. We're going to win this. I have confidence in my guys.
And Team Africa, Asia Pacific, 3rd and 4th at the moment. Jana, are you pleased being in 3rd position nearly at the end of day 1?
I think we are actually. It's definitely the same kind of battle between Team Africa and Team Asia Pacific. So hopefully going into the next day we can hold that position.
Team Africa, can you pull something back tomorrow? Will you have a strong second day?
Oui, c'est vrai, nous sommes 4e aujourd'hui, mais mon équipe a fait de son mieux. Mais demain, il y aura un autre jour, il y aura de la compétition. On va espérer de gagner plus de compétition.
I think the rough translation was, if I was to do the long jump now, I would definitely beat Mike Powell. That is fighting talk, Mike. Let's get back to the action.
I didn't realise you and Thomas was bilingual, did you, Catherine?
He's not.
Not when it comes to French, although actually you and Thomas, the former European champion and Olympic relay medalist, he can actually speak German. Anyway, plenty of banter up in the captain's box between Jan and Neza, Mike and Colin. Right, question here is, can the Americas team finish the day by extending their advantage at the halfway stage? You would suspect with Rogers, Lyles, Blake and Tracy that will be the case. They are the outstanding quartet assembled here. The Africans will be on the outside in 7. Then we got Mike Rogers going lead leg for the Americas. Europeans in 4. Asia on the inside in 3. Jake Duran going anchor for them. Lead leg is Williams. But the Americas, Mike Rogers, the experienced veteran on lead. Noah Lyles on the second leg, who's run 4 times inside 19.7 over the 2. Quickest man in the world this year by some distance. Johan Blake, we used to call him the Beast, coming back to some form. He's had some useful sub-10 second performances this season. He's running that top bend for the Americas, the Jamaican, and then it'll be Tracy on anchor leg. That's Amir Barnes. He's going lead leg for the Europeans. Asia in 3, Europeans in 4, Americas 5, Africa in 6. The Americas will finish leading at the end of day 1. The question is, by how much? Last event here in this historic stadium at the end of what's been an absorbing day 1 of the 2018 IAAF Continental Cup.
On the inside, Asia Pacific, Europe, Americas, and
competing
Africa,
here. Mike Rogers looking very good with that distinctive headband, and there's a faller there. That's really disappointing for the Africans. Noah Lyles streaking down the back straight. There's an injury to Brujantes at the end of that leg, but the Americans are now miles clear. Europe 2nd, Asia 3rd, and look at that. Johan Blake to Tracy, and Ramil Guliev coming under a little bit of pressure there by Jake Duran. All the drama happened elsewhere. The clock is late to stop there. The Americans were the favourites. They delivered in style, but what a shame for the Africans. Their race came to an end at the conclusion of the first leg, but the Americans dominated that from start to finish.
Yeah, a victory for Team Americas. A nightmare for Africa in both the men's and the women's 4x100 meter relays. Nil point for that continent. But the Americas, well, 38.05, but it was a good run. Noah Lyles flying down the back straight as expected. Horrible to see for Team Africa. Oh, Runges really did struggle. Magakwe had his hand out, but his runner wasn't there due to injury. But look at the left of his shot there, Noah Lyles. He'll run tomorrow in the final individual race at this Continental Cup in the men's 100 metres. But Johan Blake shouts hand. The hand is then put back by Twekwendo Tracy. No one was going to catch him. Guliev was looking to do as little work as possible on the final leg for Europe. He was happy just to pick up the points and come through into second for them. Long season from Guliev. Look at him. He's already on the beach.
Do you know what, Catherine? I don't think I've ever seen anybody look over their shoulder on the anchor leg of a 4x1. I don't think I've ever seen that.
When you're as tired as Guliev, he'd look at it at any race, but he did the job he needed. Europe was second, and they were never going to catch the Americans. There's a good team, a good squad, a nice little mixture there. Americans and Jamaicans coming together.
And Blake's coming back to a little bit of form. I mean, he's not in the Ronnie Baker, Christian Coleman time bracket at the moment, but he's regularly and consistently back to under 10.
He is, and it's nice to see. He said to me the other day, I don't like to be called the Beast anymore. He's come back from the injuries that he's had, and it's nice because his longevity is good. And it's nice that he still wants to be involved in the sport. And he's still got a chance as well, because outside of Noah Lyles there on the left of his shot, we've got a plethora of Great Britain and Northern Ireland athletes coming through. But if you can run consistently at just under 10 seconds, you're going to be in the mix. And Blake has the ability, of course, as one of the fastest men of all time, to be able to do that. But a good last event victory for Team Americas.
Yes, they consolidate their lead at the end of day one. We really hope you've enjoyed the action here. It's been absolutely non-stop. We've been on air for about 3.5 hours, and it really has felt as if it's been half that time. Very different the way the field events have unfolded, with only the top 4 having a 4th round and only the top 2 contesting the decider.
Well, we are awaiting the final points. It seems a happy captor's corner here. Neza, what was your best memory, or what are you happy about today?
Oui, aujourd'hui, c'est un grand jour pour Mike Powell. Great day for you. Mais malheureusement, pour nous, on a perdu le 4x100 mètres et le 4x100 mètres men and women. Mais j'espère pour demain, on va gagner plus d'épreuves.
Enjoyed the 400 metres, I think, but you are unlucky in the relays there at the end of day one. Jana, you seem quite happy. Are you confident going into day 2?
I am now, yes. We're having a good tussle, aren't we? No, I think it was a great day, so I think the whole of Team Asia Pacific should be really proud.
And do you miss it? Do you miss competing?
Of course. We were talking about it a lot, weren't we, guys? I love it. I'd love to get out there and do it again.
Colin, you could still do it. Look at you. Surely you could still hurdle.
No. There you go, straightforward. No, luckily tomorrow we have the 110 meter hurdles, and of course we've got the world leader Shabenkov representing Europe, so I'm looking forward to that. It was a great final event for us, the women's pole vault taking a 1st and 2nd. So all in all, we're feeling okay.
Now, I know behind the scenes, yourself and Mike in particular, you've been having quite a bit of a friendly chat. You are quite confident that Europe can win, aren't you? Really?
No, I definitely am. There's going to be times where Americans will make a few mistakes. You know, Mike is always there. He's really encouraging them. But you know what? If your athletes can't deliver, that's where you get your problems. I'm looking at my Europeans delivering when it matters.
And Mike, you're always smiling. Whatever happens, you're a happy man. But are you a happy team captain?
Yeah, the athletes are doing really well. They started off great with the 100-meter hurdles, and they set the tone for the day. They got the momentum going. And once they got the stick around the relays, it's over, baby.
Well, we can see on the big screen, there are the teams standing. Americas are in front, 135. No wonder Mike is boastful and very happy. Europe not far behind, just 12 points on 1, 2, 3. Asia Pacific, 89. And Africa, 74. You'll have a strong second day, though, won't you, Africa? Come on, for Team Africa.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Demain. Is that correct?
Exactement, demain.
Okay, well, we've had an absolutely brilliant first day. The crowd, you've been tremendous. We can't wait for day 2. But in the meantime, have a look at the big screen. Here's some highlights from today.
Africa, disappointing end to the day in both 4x1 relays. Asia Pacific in third. Europe are still in touch with 123, but only just. Excellent end to the day. There's a confirmation there in second place. Excellent end to the day for the Americas, leading with 135 points at the halfway stage. We've really enjoyed the action today. It's been whistle-stop.
Here's a few highlights of the first day of action, but from myself, Catherine Merry and Rob Walker, do join us tomorrow because it's not over yet between these four continents.
Well, if you're still with us, thanks for your company. Join us again tomorrow, 2:30 local time, for 18 more finals before the crowning of the champion.